out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a New River thing. Virginia Tech fire, rapid pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark. He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint. Calling plays like a coach, every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold. Rick's play-by-play, worth its weight in gold. With a laugh and a growl, he'll pull you in. Big Dog's podcast, let the games begin. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark.
It's the Fondly Friday edition of the program. Heading into the weekend. There you go. Fondly Friday. Hence the logo that's up on the screen. Boom. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Hit us up in the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. And also on our Professional Door Incorporated text line. How's everybody doing? 3 a.m., huh? Wow. Good morning, April. How are you? Good morning, Prometheus. Good morning, Stephen. Christopher Lester, it was great to meet you last night. And Big Dog Pop, it was great stuff, man. Chris and Dwight were holding court. And I think for the first one, it was really good. We had, I think, we have 7 people on the screen with us. And we hope to continue to grow that, and it'll bounce around. And I'll try to find a day. I know probably people will prefer weekend days, but we'll see. We'll see going forward. But it was good. It was a lot of fun. Oh, I guess I need to change the logo. Hang on. I didn't go back to the old logo. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Boom. There we go. But we had fun. Morris was great. From the wired YouTube heaven that rules BDST. Last night we enjoyed the first Big Dog Pop, and it's fit Rick Watson to a T. Yeah, it was good. Hey, KD, good morning. Everybody who's new, please subscribe, like, and share. April, KD. Yeah, it was fun last night. David Mabry, the coach, was great. Morris was great. Chris and Dwight. Coach Elmo joined us. Denny Van Pelt. Who else? And we had a lot of people who were telling me they were going to watch. They weren't ready to jump on. So that's fine. That's exactly right. If you're not ready, then just watch and enjoy. But that's something we're going to grow, and it'll branch out into all sorts of things. But it was good. It was good. Very good. Because the next time we get Chris and Dwight on, I want to talk about the Equalizer movies. Because Robert McCall, I think probably if you look back at all the franchises of movies that you've enjoyed throughout the stages of your life, he's got to be in my top 5 characters that you want to see progress in film. You know, he's got to be right. You know, he's got to be in my top 5. Good stuff. Coach Elmo is going to join us here, by the way, in about 20 minutes. And he has broken down the 5-star recruit who broke the hearts of so many Hokie fans, because I heard from you, who decided to go to LSU. I think you're going to feel a little bit better when you get Coach Elmo's evaluation. This isn't some guy sitting behind a keyboard who's watching highlights and is hearing about schools that might be interested and then putting out, let's give him a 5-star rating. I mean, Dwight worked for 247. He told you yesterday how all that worked. I know people want to fall over themselves and look at those star rankings, blah, blah, blah. But you'll feel better about it. Will Stewart from Tech Sideline going to stop by. Mike Ashley in the open mic. And then we'll finish up with Jen, the Gamecock girl. I want to thank the NRV Super Bowl. So we're going to have our bash, 540-382-5525. Thanks to Terry. We're going to do that. We believe we decided last night on Pop the July 18th weekend. I think that's when it's going to happen. They are also doing next weekend, not this weekend, but the 27th, bowling for backpacks. All the proceeds will go to help out the schools. It's $50 for a team of 4 for 3 games, raffles, prizes all day. And again, it's trying to help raise money for local schools and their supplies. It's awesome. Lawson's Mobile Home Supply. James Lawson's been doing it since 97. Give him a call. Parts for your windows, doors, plumbing, 540-381-11. 8011. 300 North Franklin Street. They are awesome. Sundown Electric, one of the best reputations of any local business down in Elliston, thanks to Jeff Smith and his brother. One of the best reputable businesses around. Reach out to them and you'll be very happy that you did. The Ready Set Fund, Bob Chris, BOBCRST 11. If your organization, group, sports team, whatever it needs, uniforms, equipment, reach out. A series of text messages can raise money very quickly. It's very effective. ReadySetFund.com. Travis Williams and Professional Door about to start year 40 in July. And you want to spend special attention, paying attention to what we're going to talk about coming up. If you have garage doors and you're looking to get them updated and preemptive care with Professional Door, get ready. Sponsor of our text line. National Bank member FDIC, my exclusive banking partner and exclusive banking partner of this program. The attorney Ryan Pry, BDST fan question of the week, 701 West Main Street in Radford. Charles Lee, Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street, 540-553-2971. We're presented every day by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment, thanks to Jonathan Sweet, Tim Miller. Stacey Compton will be on next week. At least that's my goal. Those of you asking, Bud Foster, the first week of July, he's going to be out of the country, I think, starting today. I think he's getting ready to leave town today. I reached out to Coach Foster a couple of days ago, and we talked. McClellan Chiropractic, Mark Hundley, 155 Walters Drive. Go get your back, legs, arms, whatever you need to get situated with Mark. And Family Fencing, sponsor of our studio. And it's great to see their growth, thanks to Jason Green, kind of growing together with them and the show here. Get a free quote, 540-200-8294. Don't forget about Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, Coach Elmo was holding Supreme Court last night. He just jumped on for a little bit. Chris was great. Learned last night the road to greatness rolls through Richmond. Yeah, the Lawrence Taylor story blew me away. Isn't that wild that he was committed to Richmond? Nobody was recruiting him. It just goes to show you right there. Right there you go. All this stuff about recruiting rankings and all the clickbait and everybody falling all over themselves. Nobody recruited Lawrence Taylor for a while. What? Yep. That happened. But the good news for Tech is, regardless of what you think about the rankings, and you might just think they're 100% gospel, you know James Franklin's going to get talented players, and that's something he's always done. So I don't think in the larger scheme of things you're going to have to worry about talent drop-off year in, year out going forward. So I think either way, however guys end up developing, I think the talent pool will be consistent. And I think that's what, regardless of where it comes from, developmental through guys who stay, if they're recruited as freshmen, or if guys transfer in and they decide they like it, whatever. I don't care how it's made up. I'm one of those guys now, seeing how things are done across the country. If he finds a way to be able to go to the portal and satisfy all the major needs every year, or a lot of them, maybe not all, you can't do everything through the portal. Okay. If guys are 1 year rentals, or if they have 2 or 3 years and decide to stay, think about it. Ethan Grunkemeyer coming out of the portal. What if he stays? He'll probably stay at most 2 years, but you're going to have him. And that's fine. That's fine. Because it's about the now. I think we're being shown almost daily in the world of sports. The now is what you have to live in. This whole projection of the future. Look how much things have changed throughout college athletics in the last year. Since we came back on in August. Look how things have progressed even since this show started, middle of August. And you see how things that are planned, nothing seems to be going to cohesion. So the now is where you have to live. It's how you have to live your daily life, and it's how you have to, I think, start to look at your fanship, regardless of whether it's professional or collegiate teams, right? Prometheus says, I find myself in the middle. I don't think star rankings are everything, but I'm not naive to think it doesn't mean anything. Yeah, I don't say it doesn't mean anything, but most of the people that are ranking those kids haven't seen those kids other than highlight films. That's a fact. They're not sending people out. They don't have the budgets to send people out. That's why they rely so heavily on subscriptions. And that's why they release composite rankings to get people very excited. I mean, Dwight can take you inside of it. He worked for them for a couple of years. He saw how it worked. He got frustrated with the system because he would see rankings. Well, he told the story, right? He saw kids get 1.5 stars or whatever added to their ranking just because somebody saw a highlight tape. I think what I trust is the evaluation of how coaches watch players. And you're going to get that evaluation today from Coach Elmo, right? That's what you're going to get. Yeah, exactly, Prometheus. You might have a kid as a 2-star. Oh, wait a minute. Alabama's thinking about offering him. What do you think? That's worth 1.5 stars, right? Yeah. Well, we saw that evaluation meant a lot because Brent Pry was not good at it, and especially in the portal. He hit on some guys that were really productive. Bashal Tootin being the one that really stands out to me offensively. But the evaluation of James Franklin doesn't concern me. He's going to be fine. Like, he's always found guys. So I don't worry about all the other crap. Trust your coaches and trust how guys, when they get here. And I'm curious now to see as we continue to evolve, not only here, but everywhere, really, how much retention is going to happen in football as opposed to basketball. We know it doesn't happen in basketball. I mean, my Lord, rosters are turning over 10, 12 guys every year. Football, you're going to keep more because there's a lot more Scullies and a lot more, bodies. But I'll be interested to see the retention numbers here in a couple of years, at Tech and at other places. How many guys you brought in, portal freshmen, how many of those guys ended up staying after that first year or two, and how many of them develop into it. And that's going to be the trick for coaches going forward as they evolve, because you have to change the whole, everybody talked about, and it's true, you have to re-recruit your team, but now more than ever. So that will be, I think, the key to the programs that will be successful. That Virginia Tech can do that. You figure that they'll be up there in contention with whomever else for ACC titles or whatever it looks like in a couple of years with the new leagues and so forth. So, yeah, I think a staff's ability to keep – well, the money has to be there. I mean, Dwight said it yesterday. Kids are not committing to the school. You want to think they are as fans, but they're not. Yeah, they're committing to the coach, but they're committing to the coach because he has money. But that's okay. That's okay. That's where we are today. There's nothing – that's just the way it is. And for me, I was going to bring Clemson up. Clemson's the prime example. They ignored the portal completely. Dabo was adamant that they weren't going to change their MO. That's when he still had a lot of hand, I use the hand. I always go back to the Seinfeld episode. And you saw what happened to Clemson. They have not been a factor since the portal became such a major thing, propelling teams into contention, and Clemson kept trying to do it the old way. And then finally, the ones who really run these big football programs, the mega boosters, said, no. We're jumping in the game with or without you. We want it to be with you. If you don't want to do it, if your record doesn't improve, we're going to get somebody in here that will. I mean, you're Clemson. Have you ever walked around the Clemson campus? I always make a point to, Radford's played them 3 out of the last 5 years in basketball. and you walk around their football stuff, it is unbelievable. It blows you away. So Dabo had to swallow hard and say, okay, well, we got to go to the portal now, and they'll be better. It's not the only way to do it, but thinking that you can ignore it, I don't know why that was the choice. I don't know if it was arrogance or just he was such an old school mind. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of both, right? But I think you have to do it the proper mix. But on the other side of it, I'm always going to push back against people. I still get it. People want to criticize what Virginia did last year. Tony Elliott was in a, much like Brent Pry, we've talked about this ad nauseum, was in a make or break start of year 4. He was told, look, this is it, man. You haven't done much. And, he was given a little more leeway. And with the tragedy there, I will always tip my hat to Tony Elliott, the way he got that program through the shootings. Unimaginable, right? Virginia Tech, and yet he kept that thing afloat for those first couple years. And then what happened last year? Yeah, they went very heavy in the portal. I don't know about you. I don't remember hearing anything about any of the kids that he brought in, or very few. Coach Elmo talks about it all the time. Do we ever hear anything out of UVA and what they do with their roster? And they had the best season in the history of their football program, 11 wins. They beat an SEC team in the bowl game. Yes, they fell in the ACC title game. And yes, they had the benefit of a very fortuitous schedule. But when you're 3-9, when you're a fan base and you're 3-9 and you're trying to just find ways to criticize a program that went had 11 wins, it's going to kind of reveal your bias a little bit. If Virginia Tech were able to reverse that this year with portal players, I think it's great. I don't care. But they've went out. The early things I've heard, and Chris, the two guys they're bringing in at quarterback, people are more excited about that than they were Chandler Morris last year. Best offensive line in the conference. Yet you don't hear a thing. Most experienced, I think I saw they're the second or third most experienced offensive line in the entire country. It's crazy. What a great place to start. Boy, don't you wish Virginia Tech could say that? So we'll see. But, people have wanted to criticize how he went about it. I don't know. And you know what? If they fall and people end up being right and I'm wrong, then you know what? I don't care. I'll admit I'm wrong. Being wrong, not that big a deal. Not that big a deal. I mean, UVA, Tony Elliott anyway, seems to now have found his rhythm. And you're not going to hear me say a negative word about Tony Elliott, because that was a broken man when the tragedy hit. And he stood up, did the interviews, brought his team together. And I have an immense amount of respect for that. So I think he's going to be successful. You don't bring a program through that and all of a sudden fret a whole lot about, okay, well, we brought in 20 portal kids and we lost 17 of them. I think he's like, all right, well, we evaluated correctly last year. You know what? I have the same staff, and we'll get Coach Elmo here on this before he gets into the kid that he evaluated. I'll tell you what, these Coach Elmo evaluations, this is some of the best stuff you're going to see. If you're a football fan, He's taking you inside exactly what every program does, and the way he evaluates is his way of doing it. It's just unbelievable. So you're going to get to see that today on full display, as we did with some of the tech guys too. But his staff is pretty good at UVA. It's pretty good. Yeah, I've never understood that, Morris. Maybe it's just me. And I think most people here are the same way. I've never understood why people get so sideways over when they're wrong about something, especially if you're just giving an honest take. Unless you have some kind of ulterior motive and you're trying to get something across that you don't really believe, then you get angry. But for me, if Virginia can't keep kids and they get in trouble in the portal, I'll say, you know what? I was wrong about that. But a couple people were texting on the professional door text line. I do not believe that. I don't worry about the makeup of Tech's roster. Like I think it's going to stay consistent between what he's trying to do with high schoolers and with portal kids. My prediction, though, is you're going to see probably a little more dabbling in the portal over time, however long James Franklin is here. And I don't believe he will be here long, especially if he has success. But however that looks, he'll be good. He'll be good. Yeah, people do. They want to be right. And we get a lot of stuff right here. I'd say we get most of the stuff right here. But when we don't, hey, it is what it is. And it's the same way if you're a coach. You don't evaluate every kid correctly. You don't develop every kid correctly. You don't hit on all these recruits. If you did, teams would go 12-0 every year. You'd have 10 All-Americans, right? But that doesn't usually happen. Matter of fact, it never happens. Never happens. Joining us now on the program, there he is. He's Coach Elmo. Coach, thanks for stopping by last night on Pop. That was fun, man. You were great, as always.
Rick, you're killing me. I can't take notes fast enough. The first half hour, I got these sticky notes all over the place.
Well, I want to talk. Before we get into
Professor Watson. This is like a blast for me.
Well, I want to get in before you get into this player you evaluated, which is going to be fascinating. Let's talk a little bit about UVA. You've made some points that I think about because, again, it's pretty much radio silence with how they piece together the roster. You've talked about their staff and how they just kind of do their thing, and the evaluation skills were very good last year. What is it about the way Tony Elliott seems to be doing things that's against what we see everywhere else, especially with his in-state rival, where everything seems to be publicized coming out of Blacksburg? And with Virginia, whether it's money, whether it's recruiting, whatever it is, it's just kind of like this. You just don't hear a word. But yet last year, here they are putting together 11 wins.
Yeah, it's, again, Greg Roberts, on his radio show, I'm probably this time last year, asked me a question because having coached at both schools between Virginia and Virginia Tech, and I hate doing that because it's really not fair, but having worked at both schools at great times, both universities for two great head football coaches, what he, if not necessarily making a choice, but where are, in your eyes, both universities? I said, well, the only one word that come to my mind was stability at UVA. The stability throughout the years with the shootings going on, everything that's losing football games, all the things that losing the shrapnel of losing football games occur. UVA is going through it, and so was Virginia Tech. They were on the same, there were two Titanics, Coach Pry and Coach Elliott were both the captain of two Titanics heading for the iceberg. And I said the stability because, one, he had not fired any of his assistant coaches. Now, good news or bad news. He was not told to fire or he just said, I am not firing the coordinators. When Coach Pry fired the DC strength coach and O-line coach, which was his third O-line coach in 4 or 5 years in his tenure, I said, not good. It's not good. And I told Greg, he's next. Anytime you ever see or hear, I don't care if it's NFL or college, when the coordinators get fired, and especially when they're told to fire them to save their own asses, okay, they're next. Zach Taylor at the Bengals will be next. When he fired Lou Anarumo, the D coordinator. He was told to fire him.
He's told to fire him, right?
Fire him. I know that for a fact. I know it. Zach Taylor played for us at Nebraska. Lou Anarumo was my GA at Syracuse. It's fact. So, he had stability and he had a staff, because when you have stability in your staff, you have stability, you have consistency in your evaluation of your incoming players, whether it's portal or high school. And that is so critical. You go through 3 offensive line coaches, you have 3 different processes of evaluations because they're all different. You can get 3 offensive line coaches, that's 6, 3 pair of eyes on one kid, and you're going to have 3. You'll have 3 different discrepancies,
right?
And that's ball. That's why you have to have a lot of eyes, and then you have to have a head coach that can take all that information and make the decision. Okay, so that's the one thing that I saw, and and I think all that consistency with finally opening up the portal vessel for UVA. Because remember, I've always said this, I never heard when they brought in 30 portal kids over the last 3 years prior to this past year. And they got the quarterback and all the planets were in line and they had a staff, and their defensive coordinator to me is still a rock star. He is the rock star. I'm telling you, I can't bang his drum enough. I love this guy. I love how they play. They remind me of the old lunch pail Virginia Tech defenses. And say, oh, well, they weren't that good. No, let me tell you how good they were. They were good enough to win 11 games, okay? That's how good they were. And when they needed to have a play in the fourth quarter, the defense actually, at least in 4 games that I can remember, won the game by making a play, hanging in there. And that's coaching. That's leadership. That's leadership from the coaches. That started in January. Any great season for any football team starts in January. That's where it begins. It doesn't just happen during the season. It's developed from January, off season, spring, summer, preseason, and here we go. And somewhere along in the first 3 games, you may stub your toe, and that's okay, because sometimes a bad loss can turn into a great season, because you can finally get to that point where you say, okay, I'm at LSU. We lose to University of Alabama at Birmingham in Baton Rouge. Lose to them. And that's a whole nother story. And we got Tennessee. We got the SEC schedule ready to go. Tennessee the next week, and they're number 12 in the country. I'm convinced to this day, if we had won that game, I don't think we beat Tennessee. I really don't. That game actually defined our season to turn a 3-win team the year before into a 8-win team. And we actually had taken like 2nd or 3rd place in the SEC West. We almost had a chance to win it. And Nick's big turnaround at LSU. So, it's stability is key, and he's kept his assistants, and it bears its fruits. Now, what happens this year? Who knows? They may go 0-11.
That's right. That's right. They might. And they could.
But when you look at both programs in the crossroad, what was the difference? Stability. Coach Pry doesn't, he got fired. That program, Virginia Tech, crashed and burned. And UVA everybody, just look at the obituaries, and UVA was on the front page of the obituary going into last year.
Yeah, they were.
Period. And 11 wins. The most wins in the history of UVA. I was a part of the 10-win season in '89 when we won the ACC championship. And they say, "Oh, we tied Duke." Bull. We beat the crap out of Duke. We won it. So that's my take on UVA and Coach Elliott.
Yeah.
I think they got a great staff. Chris Slade's on the staff. His players played just like how he played. I know people on that staff, and they've been with him forever, and they've done a great job.
Well, I remember a Virginia Tech team that started 0-2 after just a shutout loss to Cincinnati. It ended up having a pretty good season.
And Boston they lose to Cincinnati and BC and won 10 straight.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes, somewhere between your first and third games, you'll find out who you are. And usually the old coaching adage, the second game is where teams make most improvement. My experiences, that is 100% accurate in my football experience. I can go through every second game, win or lose. It doesn't matter what you won or lost. It's how you played from the first game. Where was the improvements? And a lot of times there were signature second games that all of a sudden I'm a part of a 10-win season or an 8 or 9-win season when it was supposedly gloom and doom.
Mm-hmm. Do you think, but along those lines, like for Virginia Tech, will their improvement come? Is it still the same regardless of the opponent, in your opinion? Like Tech's got VMI, that's going to be a cakewalk. Will they improve more from VMI to ODU, or could they improve more from ODU to Maryland?
Well, the ODU game, the second game, usually the second to third games is where you're going to find out who are you. You really get to find out who are you. Now again, it's like anything else. Now the better talent you have on your team, when you look at the great teams, Kirby Smart at Georgia, you look at some of these Coach Saban, a lot of the really good teams are practicing. They're going good against good. They're going ones versus ones, as you go through your because now that's how your team gets better. Your confidence grows because you're going against your best talent. And if you've got good players, and especially if your practices are physically, mentally demanding, this, Rick, you played for Coach Hicks. Sometimes those games were won before the game was started.
No question. You didn't worry about the game. You didn't worry about the game. You're right.
No, the scoreboard was irrelevant, and you could care less. You couldn't wait for Saturday because it was a whole lot easier than Monday through Friday. You couldn't wait. I've been a part of that, and that's one thing we tried to do at Virginia Tech. Our practices were so demanding from a mental, physical standpoint because the game is demanding. It's not because the coach, it's the game. Sorry. I used to apologize to the player. Sorry. What makes the game competitive, Rick? It's not the score. It's the time.
Yeah.
The score is irrelevant in terms of competitiveness. You take the time away and the clock away. Hey, go play a pickup game where there's a no time period. All of a sudden, you got 20 minutes in this pickup game. Oh, next thing you know, it's amped up.
Yep.
It's
That's
amped
right.
up. I don't care. Pickup basketball, flag football, tackle football, pickup games. Once you put a time limit on something, all of a sudden the anxieties amp up and everything becomes really important and magnified.
100%. Yeah, no, you're right. And that's why I'm so optimistic. And I was going to say, Coach, that's why I'm so optimistic about year one for James Franklin, because the time frame's just starting. So it's not going to feel like there's this rush, but yet I think he can just let this team develop. And that's why, what he's added out of the portal, that's another reason why I'm just focused.
Absolutely. Listen, here's my take on James Franklin. The best thing I could say about James Franklin and what I know of him, because I coached against those Vanderbilt teams. Let me tell you, they were a talented, top 5 SEC talented football teams.
At Vanderbilt.
They were good.
Yeah.
Trust me, their running back was first team all SEC. The running back, first team, not second, not third, not honorable mention. They were a good football team. They were a talented, good football team. Here's my take on Franklin. If James Franklin, how the accountability he will approach in recruiting, I've always said is very similar to Nick. He's not Nick Saban, and nobody is, and nobody ever will be. Okay? But here's the deal. You take NIL money away, he's gonna win recruiting battles. Even if you with no NIL money. If everybody didn't have NIL money, if NIL money never existed.
Go back to the old way. Yeah.
Because he did it at Vanderbilt. He did it at Vanderbilt. Like I said, if you have the Vanderbilt James Franklin, okay, now with the NIL and competing with it, hey, it's going to be a lot of fun, I think, for the Virginia Tech fans. Because let me tell you, I know what those assistant, at least I think I know, at LSU, around the building at LSU, when it came time for recruiting meetings and it was that 4-hour block for recruiting, ain't nobody got their feet on the desk reading the sports page of USA Today. It is a nervous wreck scurry. Because when you get in that staff meeting, you better know. If you ever get asked, hey, what about this so-and-so kid, Coach Elmasssian? Hey, what about this kid in northern Louisiana? If you don't know about him and he does, it's an ass ripping that you can ever want to withstand. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, and you said this a long time ago, right after it was announced, about as long as Virginia Tech gets the Vanderbilt James Franklin, it's going to be good. And I think that's exactly who they're getting. They're getting a guy who has that same motivation, especially after what happened at Penn State. You didn't want the Penn State more politically savvy settling into a power blue blood job. You want that guy who got to Vanderbilt and said, you know what, we can do this at Vanderbilt. I don't want to hear any crap. And that's what he's doing now at Virginia Tech. So.
Well, you know what the knock is? Well, he didn't win the big game at Penn State. He was at Penn State for 12 years. I'll guarantee you they may not have another coach at Penn State that'll stay 12 years.
Oh, no chance.
He was at Penn State for 12 years. So guess what? He won enough games to keep his job for 12 years.
Yeah, no chance. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, come on now. You got, I that's me in coaching, but, we'll see. Everybody wants to have the crystal ball, but, we'll see where it goes.
Well, speaking of crystal balls, let's get to a young man by the name of Chris Whitehead, who played at Lloyd Seaburn High School. And I'm telling you, Coach, regardless, all we've heard about is,
what's up? What the hell up in arms? They lost a kid.
Yeah. I looked coming in. I got 11 different text messages about, boy, how could we lose this kid? What is James Frank? How could that happen? And all this. And I'm like, are you just going to look at the success he's had? You think everybody's just going to fall in line? You think the money's going to last that long? Do you not? How much money do you think's been spent? Do you not know how much money's been spent? I mean, it's like all these different factors, but here you are to come along and make Tech fan feel a little better, I think, about
when we were at LSU, one thing we could care less about who we lost. It's not who you lose, it's who you get.
Yeah, right.
I mean, and let me say this to you. A lot of times if they lost this kid to an ACC team, that's like losing 2 players. Because if he's going to be good enough, now you got to play against him.
There you go.
So if you lose him to an SEC, Big Ten, Pac-10, who cares? Who cares? The WC. Who cares? Move on. Okay? And that's going to happen. All right? Because it's been happening for the last 100 years in every state. Okay? So, but as long as you get who you want in the state and what you need in the state, you've had good recruiting years. Now, that'll all be measured by wins and losses when it's all said and done. But in terms of what constitutes a great recruiting class in the halls of a football office, we got who we wanted and we got what we needed.
Correct. Which seems to be the case, right? In Tech right now.
That's it. And I've always had a philosophy: you never lost, but you never had. If you've done all your work and all your due diligence, if he never stepped foot on the campus, or there was not that was the problem back years ago when I was at Virginia. Terry Kirby, Chris Slade, Sean Moore took an unofficial visit to Virginia Tech. But Kirby and Slade never stepped foot on the campus. Ray Savage never stepped foot on the campus. That's bad. No, you got a problem when they're not coming to campus. Okay? And I was involved with the Ken Oxendine Cornell Brown recruiting, and they were both top 5 kids in the state. And that's when we had won 3 games, and we got them on the campus. That's the key. If you get them on the campus, do your due diligence, and that kid makes a decision to go someplace else, next kid, let's go.
That's right. Move on.
This is welcome to college football. Now, here's the deal. Greg asked me to evaluate the top 10 kids in the state of Virginia by 247. I'm so glad Mike Vick reiterated some things about the 247 and events. Not that they're bad people, but they don't know if there's air or feathers in the ball. Okay, and they just don't. All right, and they don't. They're what they're told. Yeah, fine. They're talking to college coaches. Okay, so what they're reiterating and evaluating is what they're being told, and what they're reading, whether or not not necessarily what they're seeing, and they're watching highlight tapes. Okay, I can look good on a highlight tape. Trust me, there won't be many of them, but I can look good on a highlight tape.
Right.
And so could you, Rick. Trust me.
Well,
okay, but here's my top 5. Here was my top 5. Okay. My number 1 kid was a kid named Kanaz Sullivan from North Stafford, wide receiver DB. I gave him 3 money $signs. 4 is my top. Why? Because he's a multi-position kid. Could be a receiver, could be a DB, hell of a returner. Will definitely. I want him on my special teams. I want him on my kickoff team. I want him on my punt cover teams. Cover teams are the most important teams to be on because they win and lose games, not return teams, the cover teams. Your best talents are on your cover teams. So he was my number 1 kid. And he was number 4 for 247. My number 2 kid was Avion Lewis at St. James Huguenot. Don't remember. I heard he went to go to Kentucky, 6'2", 185-pound wideout. He's got really good speed. Yeah, I liked him. He's a 3 money guy for me because, again, he's got wide receiver, DB, returner, special teams, multi-position players. Here's the crime in recruiting. The crime in recruiting is when a kid's not in the 2 deep, contributing to 20 to 25 snaps, and all of a sudden he's scout team or in the 3 deep, and you can't move him, he's eating a grant. Or he's eating NIL money for that matter now.
Right.
The key is get a kid that can get in the 2 deep, but all of a sudden it's like, you know what, Coach? I remember Pat Terrell at Notre Dame. But comes in as a quarterback, goes to receiver, had bad hands. Barry Alvarez goes, I'll take this kid. As a DB, as a safety coach, I'll take him. Brilliant kid, smart kid. All of a sudden, he has a career. He beats Miami for him in that 88 game, national championship run, wins a Miami game for him with a broken up pass or at the end of an interception, and goes on and has a hell of a pro career. You sit in meetings and you go, you don't want this kid? I got a kid at Syracuse named Bryce Bevel. He's the 6th rated receiver on the team. Because we had Kadre Ishmael, Shelby Hill, we had all these great wideouts on a great Syracuse football team. And he's just sitting there. And the D coordinator goes to me and goes, hey, look, let's take a look at the Bevel kid. Come on. He's a 3.5 student, great kid. He's not going to be on the field. I said, sure, let's take him. Kid starts for us at nickel and has a starting career and plays in the Canadian Football League. So that's the key to great recruiting, when you can take a kid, move him, and now you minimize his liabilities and you be able to play to his strengths. Sometimes a position change can do that, okay, if you've got any talent at all. So I like multiple position kids. My money, the more money signs I give a kid is because he can play. It's going to be a fist fight in the staff meeting to who gets him and who wants him. If the kid will be open to get, if he just wants to get on the field, hey, look, you want to be a red shirt or be in the 2 deep, or you want to start for me? You can get on the field and start for me, fine. Go back to the offense in the spring if you want. But come on, we need you on defense.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. But the next kid, here's the 2 kids to me, and I don't know where these kids went, but Elijah Hutchinson from North Cross. Okay. He's a 6'5", 270-pound defensive lineman. I heard he committed to Florida. That's the one I would be upset about. If Virginia Tech doesn't get him, I'm pissed. Not as a coach, I'm pissed. This kid's you can't find a better offensive line talent prospect in the country, let alone in the state of Virginia. I love that kid. He was my number 3. That's the one I'd be texting you, go, what the hell, Rick?
How did you lose him, you moron?
Isn't that where Boogie Basham played? The kid that went to Wake Forest in the NFL. I think he was a North Cross kid or North Side kid. I don't know.
He was a Patrick Henry. I think Boogie was a Patrick. Yeah, he was down the road. Yeah, he was.
But here's the thing. Here's what Franklin said. You're not going to lose Carpenters. You're not going to lose Boogie Bashams. You're not going to lose these kids that are all going to JMU and Wake Forest that turn out to be great players. That's the crime in recruiting when you're losing those kids. The hell with their stars. It's and then the next kid from Roanoke Catholic I really like, DeMarcus Brown. He's another kid. Those are 3 to 2 money guys. And he's a 6'3", 180-pound wide receiver, DB, punt return, kick return kid. He was my number. The number 5 kid was Chris Whitehead. He was my number 5.
Number 5.
And I've got reasons for that. Okay. All right. Number 1, he's got great length. Here's my eval. First of all, when I do my evaluation, you know me, I put up the sheet.
Yeah, it's
and
great.
Basically,
it's awesome.
It's got nothing to do with position projection. It's football athletic talent. On film, what does the tape say about his football athletic talent? His football functional speed, his football change of direction, his potential, growth potential. Okay. What's the upper body like? What's the lower body like? Where's the hip and ankle flexibility? Because with ankle flexibility, you have a much better change of direction. You have much better transition to top end speed with ankle flexibility. If you don't have ankle flexibility where you're working off when you see a kid that's flat-footed or heel-toe runner, that doesn't mean they can't play, but the percentages of their change of direction and transition to top end speed are not going to be as good as the one with ankle flexibility. And that's a physical fact. You watch your basketball team, you won't see many flat-footed ankle guys. You won't if they're doing a great job.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, that's fact. Just look at them. When you see flat-footed guys, you're going to see a lot of missed tackles on defense for the most part. Doesn't mean they can't play. So those are the things I'm looking for. This kid's got good length. He's got a hell of a motor. He is a physical tackler. Now, I'm watching a highlight tape. Here's my problem. Here's what NMI. I need more information. I had way too many NMIs on this kid. More than the other kids that I watched in the top 10. The most that I watched in the top 10. Because, Noah's K-N-O-W. I don't know. I need to find out. Okay? Because here's the deal. And every highlight snap that I watch, and this is a highlight tape now, not one time did I see him where he took on a tight end or an offensive tackle in a one-on-one situation. Not one snap. What's up with that? Rick, come on. They call him an edge player. That's another 247 BS name. He's a friggin' defensive end, for God's sake. Outside linebacker type.
Right.
And that's okay. Okay, he can play on the outside edge of an offensive tackle. He can play on the outside edge of a tight end. All right, great. All of a sudden, that's a one-position projection. It's called a jack type linebacker, outside type backer. Okay. Could he go inside? No, probably not. He did play some tight end, but is he playing enough to affect the outcome of a high school game? I didn't see enough snaps on a highlight tape with him at tight end to say, hey, we could use this kid at tight end too. That's what you want. You want to be able to look at it. If I'm a 247, How many positions could this kid get into the 2 deep when he steps on that campus, like Cornell Brown? How many positions can he play? And I look at this kid as a 1-position projection right now. Now, where's this body going? That's another NMI. He's 230 pounds. He's 6'5", 6'4". So his weight is in his height. He's got really a basketball-type body. Okay, I did not see enough physicality other than when he got to the point of attack and tackling, whether a sack and a quarterback, he was physical. There's no question about it. He was physical. He had a purpose, but he was competing against air to do it.
Right.
Not one time did I see him put his face in the fan, stabilize a block, violent hands, get off a block, and then go make a play. Not one time in his highlight.
Wow.
Now, that's not fair to the kid. It's not fair to me as an evaluator. It's not fair to the kid because it's a highlight tape. But as a highlight tape, Rick, you'd like to think you'd have a shot at him where he whipped someone's ass and said, you'd say, oh, my God, let's go get this. Let's bring 2 Brinks trucks full of money to Richmond, and let's go get this kid. I didn't see it. Now, people could have had him in camp, may have been, whatever, but that's what I didn't see. So I don't question his courage, but I never saw the physicality that I think even an outside linebacker eventually is going to have to take on a tight end or an offensive tackle one-on-one. And is it a basketball body doing it, or is it going to be a football body doing it? He's got the length to do it, but I don't know where the physicality is going to be because, Noah's K-N-O-W. Never saw it on the film.
But you never saw it.
So you know what? And guess what? Those outside linebackers, they're like nose guards. Who cares? I need a big D lineman, okay? I need a big D lineman. I need a safety that could go to linebacker. I need a linebacker that can play that position or a safety that could play that position and grow into that position. You give me 10 scholarships, I'm going to have 20 players, Rick. That's what I told Coach Beeman. When I got to Virginia Tech, and I think Bud, you can ask Bud, I don't know if he carried it on. In order to get a scholarship on defense at Virginia Tech, they had to be projected in 2 positions. There was no 1 position projection because we're not Alabama. We're not a selection football program.
We'll talk about that.
Football program.
Well, by the way, Coach, when I talked to him a couple of days ago, he wants to come on. He wants you on with him the first time. So,
jeez, that's a mistake.
Yeah, I said, we'll make that happen, Coach. Yeah, so that's going to happen. Yeah, it looks like the week of July 4th. Yeah.
That's my eval on the kid, Rick. That's my eval. I quit, and I'm not going to talk about some coaches I talk to because I don't care. This is my eval. If I'm giving Nick Saban the eval on the kid, this is my eval.
Your career speaks enough, Coach. Yeah, we know.
It's what it is. I mean, I like a dollarfish mistake I made. I've said I've come away from kids that say, nah, and that turned out to have great careers. That's a part of it. But it's just and then then you get into the position projection, and I looked at him as a 1-position projection, and that doesn't mean it's going to be bad. He could go to LSU, maybe all SEC, win the Lombardi Award and go on to a Hall of Fame pro career. I don't know. But I know one thing I did not see. I did not see him not because he can't or won't, because Coach Schiller always say he either can't do it, the kids can't do it, or they won't do it. Will put his face in the fan, stabilize a block, violent hands, get off a block, and then go make a play. Never saw it on the highlight tape. Or maybe I watched the wrong tape. Or maybe I was dozing off and the play passed me by.
No, that's the one they send everywhere. So, yeah, but that just goes you somebody who knows, who's trained to see what the game is supposed to look like, who knows ball, as opposed to some computer jockey who has no damn clue. Let's give him 5 stars.
Listen, these 247 guys, I'm so glad Dwight Vick reaffirmed everything what I thought. And Coach Saban could have cared less. Listen, we signed a kid out of Ruston, Louisiana named Jack Turner. I told Coach, I asked him, because he had a great respect for my evaluation process. And I said, Coach, where do we take this kid? He said, he came as a wide receiver. He's like 180-pound, kid from northern Louisiana. And I don't even know if Tulane had offered the kid. I really don't. I think we were the only offer. If you talk about stars, he had a 2-star. Okay. And next thing you know, on the national championship team, he is a starting free safety on the national championship. He was Brandon Simonis. What Brandon Simonis was to Virginia Tech, Jack Turner was to LSU. A 1A head and a 1AA body. And those kids are around. You can win with some of those kids,
And how many guys did Coach Beamer and Bud Foster find that matched that same description that turned into some of the stalwarts in the history of Virginia Tech football? I mean,
and that's not going to change. It's
a litany of, I know.
It's not going to change. It's still not. Now, here's the difference, though. What Coach Franklin's doing, like I said, I love his blueprint. Big offensive linemen, multiple tight ends. The quarterback's not going to be the guy that's going to be, we're going to count on him in 80% of the productivity on offense. Okay? And I love that. That's if I was a head football coach, that would be my offensive philosophy. I don't want the quarterback where every time he touches the ball, he has to create so we can win the game.
Yeah.
Now, we got 10 other guys on this football team here now.
Yep.
I need a good running back. When Terry Kirby got to UVA, Sean Moore became a whole lot better quarterback.
He was a little bit better, wasn't he? Yeah. A little bit
Not
better.
even close between his sophomore and junior year. And he'll tell you that. And then you add Herman Moore. Then you had a very good offensive line. Next thing you know, we're averaging 40 points a game.
Just a coincidence. Yeah, just a coincidence. Yeah. Well, I know that was great. That insight, Coach, is invaluable, man. That's awesome. What a great education.
Well, that's what I saw. My eyes see. I may be wrong. Who the hell knows?
No. I'm going to be sending you some more guys. Chris Lester's got some guys he wants you to look at, so I'm going to forward you some stuff.
But, just don't get all up in arms. It's not who you lose, it's who you get. And if you don't lose them to an ACC, listen, they better worry about these 2 linemen from North Cross and Roanoke Catholic. They're right in the backyard, and you can't. Let's go to Texas and get them.
Yeah.
Right. Where are you going to get these 6, or the 1 lineman, particularly from North Cross?
Yeah.
And the kid from Roanoke Catholic. I can't lose those kids.
And maybe they circle back, man. This is why maybe those kids are going to be playing their final year going, maybe I should go over there and call James Franklin one more time. Maybe I don't want to leave home, right? You're never going to stop recruiting. That's what's happening with Tech's class now. I've already heard 4 or 5 of their guys are, being heavily hit with some money off. So it's going to happen everywhere, both ways.
Hey, before I leave, I know you got to go, Rick, but that was fun last night. Really appreciate that.
No, thanks for jumping on, man.
It was fun. Meeting those guys, they're really cool. That was cool.
Great, man. Yeah, Dwight and Lester were holding court. You, Dwight and Chris were just holding court, man. It was awesome.
Oh, it was hilarious. Well, all the 247 ties, and there's a little bit of a bond there. But hey, the other thing, this will be for another show. How about the egg on the face of Texas Tech as a whole?
Oh my!
The university. Now
we got to get into that next week, don't we? Yeah,
let me tell you, the winner. How about the power of the Big 12 Conference? How about the power of the Big 12 Conference? Say, no, we're not doing this. The NCAA's got nothing to do with it. Texas Tech would have nothing to do with it. But all of a sudden, 15 teams in the 16-team conference says, we're not doing this. And for whatever litany of reasons, but they had powerful enough to go, we're suing your ass.
Right.
Okay? Because we will not stand for this. And so what that tell me, Rick, that's how powerful conferences can be. But they're so selfish, they won't bond together to make these decisions on NIL and portal. If they can make that decision in the Big 12, if they can make that, if the gambling situation brings the conference to bond all 15 out of 16 teams, that's presidents, ADs, head coaches, to come together and say, we will not stand for this. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And you can get that resolved. Well, guess what? You can resolve caps and portals very easily if the Power Four conference all got together and say, but they won't and they never will. Why? Because They want an edge. They never want to relinquish the edge and the money. And that's the problem. Comes back to the money. I'll let you go, Rick. Sorry.
No, it's great stuff, brother. Appreciate you, Coach, man. I hope you have a
All
great
right,
weekend.
bud.
Yeah, we'll get into more of that next week with Texas Tech. I want to get your take on that further. So
let's do it.
All right. Take care, man. Thanks, Coach. Have a good weekend. There you go. Coach Elmo holding court this morning. It was great. He was great last night, too, on the Pop Show. That was great. There you go. There's evaluation. That is so good. That is so good. When we have Coach Foster and Elmo on together, we're going to talk about all these things. Hey, Jen, what's going on? Coach Elmo does rule. As does this gentleman. He's Will Stewart from Tech Sideline. Good morning. What's going on, William?
Good morning. Coach Elmo was going, man.
Fired up this morning, baby. He was fired. Great, man.
So he was talking about Whitehead and not seeing him matching up against tackles and tight ends on his film. That's kind of odd.
Isn't that weird? He said he didn't see one physical, battle at the line of scrimmage. He's just running around guys, running away from guys to get so. Okay, yeah. But hey, Tech fans really upset he went to LSU.
Well, you can never separate out the truth from sour grapes. Only time tells, and it's LSU made him a quarterback money offer, and if LSU wants to do that on a high schooler, go ahead. And
James Franklin says, see ya.
So I'm not spending that much money on a high schooler. You go ahead and do your thing, and we'll catch you. If you wind up in the portal, we'll catch you on the flip side. And that's a great thing about recruiting these days is, you maintain the relationships with the kids because you get them on the rebound. I remember one time, I don't remember what year this was, and I don't remember who the recruit was. But there was tell me if you remember this, there was a recruit who, he was a defensive lineman, I think. I know Charlie Wiles was recruiting him. And he backed out on signing day and signed with somebody else. And some audio surfaced of his telephone call with Coach Wiles where he told Coach Wiles. And Coach Wiles blistered him, man. Let him have it, for backing out on signing day. And these days with the portal, you got to just smile and say, oh, what a shame. Well, good luck, young man. You don't want to burn that bridge because he might be bouncing back,
That's a great point. That's a great point.
God, as soon as a year or two, I mean, they're just kids, and if LSU is offering Whitehead quarterback money, that's $2 to $4 million probably. High school quarterback money. It's a lot of money.
At least,
yeah. I know coming out of the portal they can get as much as $5 million or more. Let's say the top. Everything. First of all, everything you hear about NIL is a lie. Any figures you hear are just a complete lie. But I do think that the market for quarterbacks. Let's dial it back a little bit from that. I think the market for the best quarterbacks coming out of high school is probably $1 to $3 million. So. LSU offered Whitehead a lot of money, and he should take it. And good luck to him. See what happens down there in the bayou. And if you need a place to land afterwards, we're here.
Yeah. Let's see if he gets lost in the mucky muck, right?
Yeah. So where does Coach Elmo physically live? Is he in Roanoke?
That's a great question. I don't know if I've ever asked that question. I'll ask that question on Monday. Where do you live, Coach? I would guess so, since I think he does Greg's show in studio, so he's not too far away.
You think so? Okay, I was wondering about that because I know he does Greg's show because, man, that's a guy. We got to get that guy on the Tech Sideline podcast, and we got to get him in studio.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure he's close. Yeah,
we can patch people in remotely, but there's nothing like having somebody there. When you've got a remote guest, you ask them a question, they answer the question, so it's like a tennis match, just back and forth, But having somebody actually in studio is different and more dynamic, and you can see facial expressions and hand movements and things like that. So
South Carolina, I was wrong. He lives in Little
Really?
River, South Carolina. Okay, so I guess he doesn't do the show in person. I thought he did. So Little River, South Carolina. Yeah.
It's funny is that, Jen and I are always commenting on, the let's do the ring light off on here. We're always commenting on people's setups. And as much as Coach Elmo does these remote video interviews, he's still got the bright light behind him, instead of having one in front of him.
Well, I mean, that's just great to get his eval and how, real scouts, people who know the damn game, look at those tapes and can break that stuff down and not worry about the hype about a kid. Let's just turn on the tape and see what we see, right?
So does Elmo does he look at everybody, or did you specifically ask him to look at Whitehead? What was going on there?
He looked at the top. Greg on Greg's show, he looked at the top 10 players that were ranked by 247 in the state. And he does his own evaluation. He just breaks it down and gets the film. But again, you're getting highlight tapes, and you know how those are. They always look good. They're always going to look better than they should. Yeah,
they're called highlight tapes for a reason.
Yeah.
And see, and like he talked about, he doesn't need to coddle anybody. He's just going to let you know what he thinks, because he's not. So let's say we get Chris Coleman to do the same thing. We get him to look at the top 10 in state, and give us his evaluation. Now, Chris isn't a football coach like Elmo. Elmo has a unique perspective, but we could get Chris to get the rundown of the top 10 guys. But if he says disparaging things about uncommitted players that Virginia Tech is pursuing, we're going to hear about it.
Oh, yeah, you would, wouldn't you? Yeah, you're right. You would,
and so it's just the nature of the business. It's easy for people to sit there and say, "Oh, you should tell us the unvarnished truth, whatever you think." You got to be careful. And then the same fans will tell you, "Oh, you got to have Coach Franklin in the studio. You got to have the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, all the position coaches." And well, if you're pissing them off, that kind of thing's less likely to happen. So it's it's a little balancing act you got to do there.
Yeah, it's already tough to get that done nowadays. It's amazing how that's evolved, right? And it's just changed so much from how coaches allow themselves to be available. And I think the money involved, maybe the money they make, the pressure, everything else, the handlers, the agents, whatever it might be, it's difficult to get those kind of open dialogues. Like you used to not be hard at all. You could just make a call to Bobby Bowden, "Coach, can you be on next week?" "Yeah, let's go with Tuesday." And you'd be like, "Oh, great, man." Now, you think about what you had to go through to get Franklin. I mean, the only time I'm going to get him is when, I'm over there with the chamber talking to him on something he's already agreed to do. It's hard today to get those guys to sit down with you. So you're right. If you piss them off, they're going to be like, "Nah."
So the pattern with, that has developed with Coach Franklin is, we had an opportunity earlier this week. I think it was Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock. They made all of the Virginia Tech assistant coaches available for an hour.
Chris talked about that yesterday. Yeah.
And it was a 1 hour opportunity. So you're kind of drinking from a fire hose, trying to talk to 10 or 11 different guys. And we had a big conversation about it on the company Slack, because the way that was presented to us was Travis Wells texted Andy literally Monday afternoon and said, "We're going to have all these guys available 11 o'clock Tuesday morning." So less than 24 hours notice for the entire staff.
Wow.
And Andy said, "Well, that's great. I'm going to be on vacation. I would have appreciated if you hit me up and tried to organize it with me." And then so this was an in-person opportunity only. There was no Zoom.
Yeah. Right.
So then, so Andy's not available. So we send Chris Coleman and David Cunningham, and they show up to do the interviews. And there's a guy from 24/7 there, Brian Danello, I think is his name. I'm not sure. Yeah. But he's one of their higher level recruiting gurus, and he's there. He's physically there, and you're like, "Oh, okay. So what happened here was that guy said he's rolling through. They made everybody available for him.
100%.
And that was what was driving that whole bus. And Andy's always trying to get Coach Franklin and always being told no. And then Coach Franklin shows up talking to this national guy and this national guy and this national guy. But he's too busy to talk to the local guys, is what we hear, you know. I get it. I'm not complaining. I'm just telling the fans this is the way it is. And
yep.
We've had Coach Franklin in studio. We'll have him again. You know, I'm already working on that. But it is these guys are not free and loose with their time, and they do make judgment calls about bluntly put, in my opinion, this of course isn't anything Coach Franklin's ever said. You just watch you don't listen to what people say, you watch what they do. And they make value judgments about who can benefit them the most.
100%.
And there is value talking to local media, particularly when you come on the Tech Sideline podcast. That's a real connection with the fans. They feel like we are them. So it's like a direct thing. Oh, he came down to talk to us, as opposed to talking to a national guy. And but at the same time, Virginia Tech needs the national exposure and the attention. And talking to Tech Sideline or the Roanoke Times or Tech Lunch Pail doesn't get you on ESPN. It doesn't get you the national attention and get you the attention of recruits around the country. So I get all that, you know, and so that's what's going on there.
And in this industry, and you know this, so a lot of these national guys are either represented by the same agent or they're very close to the same agent. So they get a little bit of benefits as well materially for the constant promotion of certain coaches. And whenever you see something written or research, here comes another article, right? These aren't accidents. The information that gets out during the whole, you go think about all these coaching searches that we had, right? Over the off season. We're probably never going to have another off season like that again. Well, the people that were chosen to report on that were chosen for a reason, just like what you're saying. And they have priors with the agent first and foremost. It's the agent. Jimmy Sexton works as a huge conduit for James Franklin with who he talks to and who's putting out a statement on X that comes directly from Jimmy Sexton. That's how that.
Yeah, and some people are really good at that. That's not the kind of thing I would be good at. I don't even understand all the forces at play there. I know there are forces at play, but I can't keep track of all the moving parts and who's in charge of what and how it benefits some people to be talking to certain guys and other guys. But, you know, Jimmy's good at that stuff, and that's why he is who he is. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, Wayne brought this up. He said he didn't know if you wanted to talk about it, something about how you cleaned house on the message board.
It's an ongoing process.
I love the immediate reaction.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I don't use the phrase "as I get older." I don't like talking about that. As I get more experienced, I'm just reaching a point where I just don't have any tolerance anymore. Let me tell you what really happened.
Okay.
I started spending time on Reddit. And Reddit, in my opinion, is the best social media platform for discussion by far. It's not close. It is not close at all. And when you go on Reddit, you find yourself in discussions that are respectful, full of information. If somebody's a jerk, they get downvoted and minimized. So I just got to spend more time over there. And when I started collecting omnibuses, I found an omnibus collector subreddit and started spending a lot of time over there, and some other subreddits. And and I posted on Reddit some myself. And the rules on Reddit are, you know, be nice, be respectful, or you'll get downvoted into oblivion. The community takes care of that. And
that's good.
The moderators are brutal. If you come into a subreddit and you put something there that's even remotely off topic, boom, it's gone. You are there to talk about the topic,
whatever
and that's
it is. Yep.
And So I've just, after observing that for a couple of years and then seeing what I've allowed to grow, what I've allowed our community to grow into, there's just a lot of low value stuff on our message boards. And I'm in the process of, in particular, Rick, the politics, the discussions of politics. And I have said, no politics. And the Rockovic discussion was very difficult because it was fraught with politics.
No doubt.
He is a conservative guy who was appointed by a conservative governor, and then he got wiped out by a liberal governor, a Democratic governor. And it's fraught with politics. And it's very difficult to talk about that situation and bring information and value to the conversation and not have politics enter into it. So there was I think there was another, I don't remember what it was. There was another discussion that came up the other day that, I know what it was. Somebody came on the board and no, it was a Rockovic thread. And what I do is I just let these things grow and I let people hang themselves with their own rope, and I went through this thread and I took out 6 people and I publicly outed them. I go in and say, well, just deleted the Rockovic thread and here's 6 people I banned permanently, and I listed them and the number of posts they've had deleted. And then and 2 of them were people that I know and I'm friends with.
Wow. That puts you in a tough spot, man.
And, I told people that. I'm like, well, I got rid of this guy, even though I personally know him and I see him at the gym, but I don't want him posting on my boards anymore. So I did that to let people know I'm serious here, man. I'm willing to jeopardize friendships to get this set straight. So I don't know if any of that's what Wayne wanted to hear, but
no,
it's an
great.
Ongoing process. Yeah, there is the dilemma that I face is that I said at some point in time, I said, I wanted a sense of community on the message boards. And what that has evolved into on our subscriber board in particular is there's a small group of people accountable for most of the posting. And that's true of any form of social media.
Absolutely.
But what it has evolved into over time is these aren't bad guys. They just, it's where they go to spend time and talk. They're not on Facebook. They're not on Twitter. They're not talking to people in their house. They're not anywhere else. Their friends are on our board. So they come to talk to their friends. But from a business standpoint, that's just a group of 20, 25, 30, 35 people. And we have thousands of subscribers, thousands who are coming to that board looking for information about Virginia Tech athletics. They're not looking to find 35 guys talking to each other.
Right.
And it's awkward and uncomfortable, but I'm having to sweep that stuff out and turn it back into a forum for discussing Virginia Tech athletics. That's what it's for.
Yeah. And it's not about disagreement. It's about doing it respectfully. And like you said, staying on topic. So yeah, the Reddit formula is the way to be. And that's what we try to do here with people. We don't care if people disagree. Just don't start bringing all this personal stuff into it. Don't start name calling. Don't start calling this group that there's no space for it anywhere.
Well, and the Rockovic discussion was a perfect cauldron for this stuff, because what I said was, listen, if you can talk about this and bring value to the discussion and add insight, go for it. But if you just come into this thread and you say, yeah, well, Spanberger's a psycho and that's not the only thing she's going to ruin, that doesn't add anything to the discussion.
Right.
You're not bringing value. You're just venting your conservative viewpoint. And, liberals like you would be like, yeah, well, Rockovic's an awful guy. You don't know what he was up to. That also brings no value to the discussion. So you're gone as well.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, you got to do what you got to do. I like it.
So I got about 4 minutes left. How's married life? How's Janet?
Yay! Day 11. We heard. Is that right? No, wait a minute. Day 13. It's good. She's great. We had a great time. Emerald Island. I strongly recommend it. If anybody has not went, it's incredible. It's a totally different.
Where did you go? Emerald Isle?
Emerald Isle, man, on the coast of North Carolina. It is spectacular.
I think my wife's been there. but
diverse groups of age groups and people. It's not overcrowded. It's a south-facing beach. The beaches are clean and beautiful. It's resorts, so you don't have hotels on the beach. You can look out anywhere, just see nothing but beach line. It's
nice.
I was like, wow, this is cool. This is cool.
We're coming back here later.
We'll be going back. Yeah, absolutely.
Did you ever spend time going to the Outer Banks?
I have not been to the Outer Banks. I never have. I hear about them all the time, but I have not been myself. So,
well, we went as a family for many years. We started in the early 2000s, and I think the last time we went there was 2021 or 2022, maybe even later. And so what happened was that Duck and Corolla in particular, where we like to go, a lot of the houses there were built in the 90s. And when you were going in the early, because that's what they were doing, they were building all these communities. And when we were going there in the early 2000s, every house was new. And 10, 15, 20 years later, some of the houses have been kept up, some haven't. Back in the day, we used to get a phenomenal house for $1,500 to $2,000 a week. Now, crappy houses are $4,000. They ran into a situation down there, and they're trying to get control of this, and may have gotten control of it, where the parents were renting houses for high school kids' graduations. So the parents are renting the house, and then 10 high school kids pile into the house for the week, and you know what that's like. And that's not what the Outer Banks is about. It's about family vacations, not kids partying their butts off.
Right.
So that's an area that got kind of played out over time, and we're not really interested in going there anymore. So it's funny how this stuff ebbs and flows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I would strongly recommend it. Yeah, you would like it. If you ever decide to go, I think you would like it for a few days.
Yeah.
Go with it. Yeah.
So more none of my business stuff. Did she move in after did she move in with you? Were you guys living together before you got married? I actually don't know.
We had the process going, right? It was kind of like, okay, this is going to happen, so let's go ahead and get ahead of the curve a little bit. So yeah, now once it was like the week leading up to it, to the wedding on the 6th, everything kind of got finalized in that regard. So yeah, it was like, let's go ahead and get ahead, and then boom, let's hit it pretty hard that week. And now it's like, hey, you get home from the honeymoon, you're like, hey, you're here. You're here now.
That's nice. That is nice. It's good to have something to look forward to. I'm not gonna pass judgment on the way people live, but for me, I never wanted to live with a woman until I was married to her. So I never lived with a woman until I got married. And it's funny, my son Malcolm came to me one time. He was he had a girlfriend they'd been dating for a while, and she wanted them to move in together, I said, well, let me ask you a question. Do you want somebody to watch what you're doing all day long and comment on it? And kind of looked at me like, and I said, because that's what happens when you get married. The woman watches you all day long, everything you do, and she's got a better way of doing what it is you're doing, and she'll let you know about it.
Facts. It's science. It's science.
It's funny because it's true.
It's funny because it's true. Yeah, that's true.
So anyway, congratulations, man. And
thanks, man. Yeah.
And
she loves you. And she loves you. She's already asked. Yeah. She goes, are we going to that thing in August again with Will? Will Will be there? Can we all hang out at the Big Lick thing down in Roanoke? I said, I'm sure he's going. I said, oh yeah, I'm sure that'll work out.
Oh, absolutely. So I saw you went to Heroes Con. That's cool.
Oh, love Heroes, man. Yeah, that's back-to-back years. Yeah, that's how we finished up the honeymoon. It got to hang out with a bunch of dudes that I've gotten to know. It's great, man.
Yeah. So one more thing, now I'll let you go because I'm over time. I bought my first slabbed comic book this week.
Yay! What'd you get?
I got Amazing Spider-Man number 20, first appearance of the Scorpion. Yes. I'd been watching the price. I wanted to get something in the 4.5 to 5 range, CGC, and these were $700.
Yeah.
And a guy came on eBay who hadn't sold a lot of stuff, didn't have a lot of stuff, sold some, enough that I trusted him. And he priced a 4.5 at $600, and I lowballed him at $530, and he took it immediately.
Oh, there you go. You just want to get rid of it. Yeah.
And anytime you make an offer and there's no counter offer, you're like, damn it, I could have gotten it cheaper.
No, you wonder.
So anyway, I'll show it to you sometime.
Yeah, I want to see it. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, that's good.
I got 3,500 comic books, and this is the first one that's in a CGC slab. So here we go.
Well, I started going slab when I wanted to get the more vintage stuff because know that it's a real grade, it's a real condition, because I got burned too much on raw stuff. So yeah, that's good. So
yeah. Well, I'm gonna do Amazing Spider-Man 1 through 20 slab. And I'm going to put my stake in the ground right here. By the end of 2027, I'm going to own a copy of Amazing Fantasy 15.
Dun, 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 dun. All right. By the end of 2027.
2027. It's going to take 10 to 15 grand to get a crappy copy, but I'm going to get
to get a crappy copy. Yeah. Good stuff. All right, brother. Have a great weekend. Thanks for the well wishes, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, good, man. Good for you, man. Congratulations. Tell Jane I said hi.
I will. Take care, brother. Have a good weekend.
All right.
There you go. Will Stewart, Tech Sideline. Great stuff. Yeah, we're comic book guys. So what? Don't judge us. We love our comics. We do. We also love Mike Ashley. There he is, joining us. Mike Ashley, of all his many skills, you are a comic book guy, my friend. This, I know.
Right. I grew up. I used to tell people I went from one group of superheroes to then sports, another group of fantasy world superheroes. So, that's my story in a nutshell. And I don't know why I keep it in a nutshell.
That may be the best shirt I've ever seen, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you.
That's a damn fine.
Let me button it up. Don't get to drive the women crazy here.
What do you got? You got tobacco leaves on there? What do you got going on there? What?
Those are tropical leaves. If you could read it here, you would see it's an Hawaiian whale preservation shirt, which is perfect for me. You know? Got it in Hawaii. As you might have gathered. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, good stuff.
It replaced my dead leaf shirt, which was a similar color, and I'd worn so much it had to go away. By the way, let me also extend my congratulations. But I really won't know. I really won't know much about your bride until I hear Elmo break it down.
Yeah, we'll get Elmo to. You know what? That's a good idea.
Give her a grade.
Yeah. We'll get Coach Elmo to give her $1 grade. That's true. I'll do that next week too. That's a great idea. And I didn't wish Will, if you're still there, happy Father's Day weekend. Mike, you as well. It's Father's Day weekend, man. So we got a lot going on. Yeah.
We do. We'll talk about that in a minute. Hey, we talked yesterday, and I found a 2010 column I wrote about the World Cup. And sadly, I'm still using the same jokes I did back then. I didn't update the names, but I just wanted to give you a flavor here of. I said in the column. There you go, right there.
Hey, look at you!
I said I have a little test. I'd like to see how serious folks are about soccer, and to help those really trying to get ready. I call it the World Cup player or fancy cheese. And here are your choices: 1, Havarti, 2, Vila, 3, Podhalansky, 4, Schweinsteiger, 5, Asiago, 6, Yobo, 7, Bellotti, and 8, Drogba. I always say add in 9, Velveeta.
So you're saying that's either World Cup player or cheese?
Yes. And those are all real. Well, and Velveeta, but I just threw that at the end because that's the prize I gave out. If you could guess. Every odd one I said, 1, 3, 5, those were cheeses, and the others were actual players. And now my heart has grown a bunch of sizes since then, as has my waistline. But I've actually watched some World Cup this week, and I saw Harry Kane's 2 goals, and of course Messi. I profess to be a Messi fan, a Lionel Messi fan from Argentina for several years now, because I see his highlights on SportsCenter all the time, and they're amazing. They are amazing. And so I finally watched the game he played in, and he had 3 goals, for God's sake. You know, how great was that? for me personally, and knowing, and of course we always root for the old guys in sports now because I'm an old guy sort of in sports, and I kept thinking how I could say something novel for people that don't know what Messi's skills are like, and I go back to a phrase. I don't know where I picked it up in soccer, because I didn't pick up a whole lot in soccer other than Dante Washington was really good and was a lot of fun to watch back in the day.
Yeah,
Tommy Lillard and Don Staley kind of converted me when I got to Radford as far as soccer goes, and some of my best memories are down there at the smaller Dedmond Center soccer field up behind the building there. That was so much fun. And you could run out the clock pretty easily by kicking the ball over the fence to where the railroad tracks were.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
A lot of wins
there,
that
by
way.
the way.
Yes. Way to go, boys.
Yeah.
Anyway, the thing I thought about Messi was, the ball finds his foot. It always finds his foot, and he's always in a position to score a goal. And that was a lot like Dante. Dante did one of the most incredible things I've ever seen live on a soccer field. He was running full speed down the field and had a ball. It may have been a goal kick by Frederick Rondeau way down the field. It took a big bounce and was going on. And Dante was, of course, just chugging. Now the ball's ahead of him, so he can run full speed. And somehow, running full speed, he reached out his right leg and caught the ball on top of his foot and got under control, was able to get off a shot. I don't believe he made the shot. I would really remember the story then, but I just remember that catch of the ball running full speed, the ball like Willie Mays, the ball coming over his head. Athletes like that, and there's a lot of this in soccer, I got to admit, the athletes. Although now, I don't know, I feel kind of silly with the hydration breaks. For hundreds of years there were no hydration breaks. What are you guys doing? What I know what you're doing. You're fitting in. You've Americanized your sport. You're fitting in time for commercials. we get
true.
it.
That's true.
I thought it was better if you just put a logo on the bottom, like these 40 minutes sponsored by Budweiser or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Anyway, there's just so many great athletes, and once you understand the endurance it takes to play the game like that, before the hydration breaks, and now there's a little bit more liberal substitution there used to be, but still, it's just you have to appreciate that if nothing else. Even though a friend of mine once called soccer cross country with a ball.
Well, I saw the isolated shot of the one that he deflected off of the line of defenders. He had a free kick pretty close, and he kind of figured out the angle, so he bent it right around. And when the guy hit it, when he jumped up and hit it with his chest or his head, sure enough, the carom, you could see it was going to carom right beyond the diving goalie. And Messi started celebrating. He puts an arm slowly up when he saw it deflect, because he had already thought about what it might look like, and that was the brilliance of it. And of course it went in, and he's just like, come on, it's me.
Well, I never appreciated geometry like I did until I became more involved in sports. Basketball, the angles to get the ball into the low post, things like that, and soccer is all about those angles and everything. A wiser man than me, when I was trying to learn the game, Gary Upp, who was our director of academic advising and athletics for years. We'd walk out there, and I would usually have students working the table because I was going to, grab the book and run and write the story and call it in and everything. And I would like to sit behind the goal. One of the goals was right there by the parking lot and the entrance to the field from the back of the Dedmond Center. And we would stand there near the goalie, and Gary Upp would just say, "You sound smart if you just yell stuff like this. Far post, far post."
Boy, that guy really knows soccer.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
By the way, last night we debuted the Big Dog Pop, and I had several people want me to ask you, we need to expedite our process in getting Ray Cox on the program.
I heard all that. I gave you Ray's phone number. Do you want me to call him first? Yeah.
Yeah, reach out to him.
Okay,
and then I'll follow up.
I've talked to Ralph Berry about this too. I think you have to. The thing people forget about Ray, and I look, I was a Coxian. A lot of us writers called ourselves that because when we sat down our keyboard after the game, the pressures of deadline weighing on our shoulders, we were sitting there getting ready to type our story from a New River District game, and all you could hear in your head was Ray Cox's voice. On a night when Giles couldn't,
Yes.
And then you write a lead for your story that's about 6 paragraphs, and then you get into what actually happened in the games. That's how. And I look, I'm not criticizing that. Ray was the most poetic writer in all the pages of the Roanoke Times. But what you people forget, if you know Ray and you talk to him, it takes him a while to tell a story. He's not like me here just bloviating and shouting and like your group last night, which I did see a lot of that. It was kind of entertaining. But Ray, we got to push him. So I think there have to be some of the rest of us there to prod him to get to the punchline, to get to the meat of the story a little bit. He needs editors on air. So
he needs some on air. Well, you can come right on with him. That'd be great. We got to do that.
We've been talking about that we should just do like a big, instead of a high school football preview, you get a bunch of oldies like Ray and Ralph Barrier and me on there, and we'll have a high school review.
I like that.
Maybe in August when you can start smelling you smell the leaves changing and you smell the football in the air and as a friend of mine calls it, hitting weather. It's hitting weather. You people in Pulaski know about that.
Ray, some of the best times I had was he was getting toward the end, but he would come to every Radford game. He was our Radford guide. He would just sit right beside me during the game, man. It was great. It's great conversations during commercial breaks. Yeah.
Ray never understood how we did everything we could to make him comfortable, because Ray I never noticed him at the game until the first dead ball timeout.
Yeah, there you go.
Seemed to be a little late. Part of that was coming from the other side of Roanoke where he lived to get all the way up to Radford. But it got to a point there when we were trying to cut costs and everything. Why was I feeding our major media at the games when Ray didn't show up on time to get any of the food?
That's true.
So that's true. When I talked to Jack Charlo over in food service, and I created what I called Highlander food stamps. We gave out these little stamps that you could go to the concession stand and get whatever you wanted there. Like each one was worth $1. So I just give people like five stamps, and that paid for Ray's second dead ball timeout trip to the concession stand to get popcorn and a Coke. That's what he wanted. He didn't come eat the food or anything with the other people and hobnob and let me sell stories to him, because he was too busy, going out to Giles to write to wax. I have the story he wrote on Raphael Milton, wasn't it?
Really? Yeah. The Giles star. Yeah.
This sounds really now a lead, which actually spelled LEDE, not LEAD, for a newspaper story. You always think of the first paragraph, the way you get into the story, or you try and sum up something or make a point, and then you write from there until the game story. Because most sports writers covering events are writing backwards. You sit down at halftime and write what happened in the first half, hoping that will be important and we keep it in our story. We don't have to write so much at the end of the game.
No.
But you already have that, and then you tack something on the beginning of it. Well, this was more of a feature, so Ray didn't have to do that. So he unleashed, I swear to God, 12 paragraphs before he made the point of what was going on with the point being, single wing Giles was now throwing the football, and it confused Ray so much. I'm cast adrift with no mooring. That 12 paragraphs of 12 sentences. Each one a paragraph in newspaper print, and then he says that this is why, because Giles is throwing the football. It's one of the greatest things I've ever read, and 30 years later, I remember it. 35 years later.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Man,
yeah.
We got to get it. We'll do that. We got to work on that. We got to get him on.
Okay.
We got to.
I'll send you the number again, and I will. Ray Barrier is actually Ralph Barrier is actually my Ray Cox liaison.
Okay.
So he's coordinated a couple of lunches, and again, the lunches were. I haven't laughed so hard. Well, since the old halcyon days of Taco Inn in Radford.
The old Taco Inn. Wow. Wow. What a staple. What a staple.
Oh my gosh. It may be the man I am today.
That's right. Proud of you. You love the Hanks family. You love them. All right. Yes. Speaking of a staple, what about open mic here on Father's Day weekend, Friday?
Yeah. Yep. Okay, here we go. My dad passed away when I was 6, but because of my mom and several men who pinch hit, it wasn't until I was much older that I realized I'd missed anything. Mr. Weichel, my best friend Sam's dad, always included me in trips to ball games, rides to the mall, and even on some family getaways. He was one of those great people that come into your life and just make sure your world is a little bit better. Another man, sadly, I don't remember his name. He worked with my mom, but he took me to my first basketball game in 1971 at the Roanoke Civic Center. Yeah, it left a mark. We saw the Harlem Globetrotters, and look what that started with me. I had a brother 21 years older. Yeah, I wasn't in the original family game plan. And whenever he came home from Florida, he'd throw a football or baseball with me until his arm ached. He hit pop flies until I could find them in the sky and catch them. Our neighbor, Mr. Wilhelm, taught me how to mow grass, a skill I parlayed into a money-making operation to feed my pack-a-day trading card habit. The other neighbor, grandfatherly Mr. Luckydoo, and his wife opened their home to this latchkey kid every day after school to watch the old Superman TV shows when I just started school. He never once yelled when Sam and I played a silly hybrid soccer, kickball, volleyball game with an old basketball all over his front yard. Up our street, Mr. Blankenship let us play in his yard, too. A long, skinny football field ran down a side of the house, forming one sideline, and a chain-link fence on the other was the sideline. Touchdowns came when you reached but did not touch the tomato plants, and when you crossed the sideline at the other end. No tackling there, please. A row of hedges highlighted the front yard, making our wiffle ball stadium Wrigley Field. I can still see a well-struck ball disappearing over the greenery and into the gravel driveway. Games always went to break when Mr. Blankenship got home from work. He gave us the Oreos from his metal lunchbox, which I'm guessing he never ate just for that reason. I'm pretty sure I never said a proper thank you to any of these men back then, but the older I got, the more I appreciate what they did. I would have liked them all to know the little fat kid playing ball grew into a big fat kid making a living on fields and courts with his notepad, typewriter, and keyboard. As for my father, he was revered. He was a tough act to follow growing up, hearing his achievements and knowing his legion of friends. As I grew older, that legacy made me want to be a better man too. And those who stepped up so long ago to guide me meant more than they will ever know. So I think about those folks, and I think you should too. The neighbors, the coaches, the teachers, the first bosses, the mentors who meant so much to you. Here's a tip of a cap and a point skyward. Thanks, gentlemen, for coming off the bench and being the next man up. Happy Father's Day to all.
Oh, it's great. Mr. Luck. What a great name, Luckadoo, by the way. Did I hear that right? Mr. Luckadoo?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. That is awesome, man. That's like...
He lived in a big green house next to our red brick house, green wood house, green and white. And in the wiffle ball field there, as we got older, the big green monster, his house was right field. And I think I'm still the only one that hit a wiffle ball over the house.
There's a drive.
I was the Bambino of local wiffle ball.
Did you sit there and admire it at the wiffle ball home plate?
Actually, no. You know what? To be honest, I was probably more the Dave Kingman.
Big sideburns? Did you have
lots of strikeouts, lots of home runs, nothing in between.
Feast or famine, baby. Feast or famine.
People hear me say this a lot. I've always been so blessed. You should rub my head or my belly for good luck, because I've lived such a charmed life. And one of the things that happened when I left Radford and got married, I got a stepdaughter out of the deal. So I now get to celebrate Father's Day on the other side, because that's a holiday I grew up. We didn't really ever do anything. Kate's gift to me, she's flying in. We're meeting at some friend's house on the Eastern Shore this weekend, and she and her husband flew into Richmond, and my gift, and I told her this is what I wanted. I don't want to have to come to the airport and pick you up.
Happy Father's Day. We'll come to you, Dad.
Yeah, they're flying into Richmond, and so there they go. Yeah, I didn't want to get there. In fact, they've taken off, so they're very early this morning, and I haven't left yet because here I am doing this, which I am happy to do, and happy to share Father's Day weekend with so many because I know that's a big deal to all our viewers. I mean, there's a whole you could write forever about the connection. You know, let me just say this, and I'll tear up. Field of Dreams, okay? Come on.
Yeah, that'll cheer you up. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go to the end scene. That'll make you really smile.
Yeah, let's want to have a catch?
Yeah, exactly. Well, happy Father's Day, my friend. I think I said this without you here last week, but now that you're here, speaking of the gifts that you provide, I've never gone a time where I've not seen you, or when I have seen you, where immediately I get this uncontrollable smile on my face. Or when I know I'm going to see you at a basketball game and my day all of a sudden goes from to like, oh, great, Mike's here. Mike's in town. And that's a gift that not a lot of people have, but you have it. And you supply that to more people than you will ever know.
That is so kind of you. And
it's true.
This show means a lot to me for the people that I haven't even met yet who reach out and say kind things. And that's how I know. That's how I know. Talk about the old days, because that's what we old men like to hear.
That's true. Oh, well, it is, because they were better than what's going on today. I'm sorry, they just are.
Right, and I don't have a paper to read anymore to get up and tell you, hey, what's this, that, or the other. Although I do know the U.S. team can advance the knockout round with certain things happening today, like if they eat a turkey sandwich or turkey loses and they beat Australia. And it's not going to be easy with that Pulisic guy out because I mean, for reasons I don't really understand. He's really important. But you know what? I do know, having seen several World Cups, because every year I gear up and try and watch Team USA. This team is deeper than some of the other teams I've seen from that we've produced, which reflects well of what's happening in terms of there are probably more good soccer players in the U.S. than there've ever been that are native born. And so even to survive technically our best player's injury, I think we still have a great chance. And yay, USA.
That's right. That's good. Let's go red, white, and blue. All right.
And how about that for some soccer analysis first thing in the morning? My other big soccer tip, as everyone well knows, if you're betting, the over-under is always one.
Always one. The draw option's usually pretty good. So yeah.
Next week we'll talk about the reason soccer can never be big in the U.S. Including that dang clock. You guys at FIFA watch U.S. sports where we measure it to the 10th of a second. The 10th of a second. The clock runs out in soccer, or runs up, which is another deal.
I know.
It runs up and suddenly there's no time left, and there's no, we've got about 6 minutes left. It's 6 minutes.
It's the most ridiculous thing in sports. I don't understand how it's just so accepted as if that time is correct. I don't. It's so dumb.
Let me. All right, another one. The CONCACAF, our qualifying region.
Yeah.
CONCACAF. I can't tell you what that stands for. It sounds like something I put in my coffee. But it's not going to work, y'all. That does not work for U.S. We didn't even, in hockey, we didn't even like Wales and Norris division. You had to change that. So,
That's true.
Come on. Let's go.
Yeah, we couldn't figure out all that. Well,
Adams division. Come on.
Just stop. East. Give us an east. Give us a directional name.
Southwest. Whatever. But I am enjoying it, and it's something to watch, and that in the College World Series, because
there you go.
Hockey and basketball ended abruptly for me. And now I don't know what to do. I can't watch America's Got Talent and stuff like that.
No. Nobody got time for that. Yeah.
Anyway, Goober says, hey. Goober says, go USA.
Hey to Goober. Go USA. Thanks, Michael. Stay safe.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks
so much.
Mike Ashley, the great Mike Ashley in the program. Great stuff, man. Great stuff from a great human being, Mike Ashley. Family Fencing, sponsor of our studios, 540-200-8294. Reach out for a free quote today, familyfencing, nrb.com. McClellan Chiropractic, 155 Walters Drive. That's Mark Hundley's practice, sponsor of our chat room. He's great. You need to go see him. If you need help, go see him. Mark is terrific, just terrific. We're presented each and every day by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Thanks to Jonathan and Tim. Little River Heating and Air is located at 1095 Radford Street, 540-553-2971. Get your air units checked out today by the best. The attorney Ryan Pry down at 701 West Main Street in Radford. He is in charge of our BDST fan question of the week, specializing in trust and estate planning. National Bank, member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of this program. And me, they just refinanced things for me, and they made it very easy, very painless. Professional Door Incorporated, residential, commercial garage doors. Family owned and operated, 38 years in business, 39 years in business, actually, going on 40 in July. What do you hear about what we're going to talk about in July? ReadySetFund.com. That's Bob Chris, BOBCRST11 at Gmail. Let Bob tell you and show you, Ready Set Fund, how a series of text messages can help you raise money for your special event and group. Sundown Electric, one of the best reputable businesses around down in Elliston. 5 stars, every review. You don't believe me? Go look them up. Satisfied clients all over the region. Clear communication, honest integrity. They try to keep pricing down as well. Lawson's Mobile Home Supply since 1997, 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg. Give James a call at 540-381-8011. And the NRV Super Bowl, we're going to be doing our bash there. If you're local, call them up. They've got Midnight Madness that starts Saturday from 11 to 1 a.m., 11 p.m. to 1 a.m., 540-382-5525. We're also going to be doing our bash there coming up. And they've got next week the Backpack program, which we've been talking about a lot, which is terrific. Anything they raise, they're going to give out to the schools to help with supplies. I mean, you talk about being community-oriented. The Super Bowl does it right. It's a lot of fun. It's like a rock show in there when they get the lights off for glow-in-the-dark bowling. Morris, you said it right. Mike makes any day happy. Correct. And what an invaluable gift, by the way, that Mike has that he doesn't, I guarantee he never even thinks about that he has, but he does. And I can't say that about very many people I've ever known in my life, but whenever I hear Mike's in town, I'm like, where is he? When's he getting here? Or when he just pops up somewhere and I see immediately the smile, you're just like, all right, now we're going to be happier. And when you have that kind of effect on people without even trying, you're a special individual. Mike's that guy. Jen's going to join us. She just said her computer decided to randomly update. Well, you've got the invite, so just let me know. I hate when that happens. Mine does that. Mine's done that at times too. Mine has done that at times too. And oh, by the way, don't forget about Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel. 540-616-8153. And I don't know if I've shown it enough recently. Let's get the shot of the T-shirts up there if anybody wants BDST T-shirt. Where the hell is it? There it is. There it is. It's beautiful. Beautiful. There we go. Yeah, my grandmother, my Granny Watson, said this to me when I was young, and I spent a lot of time there. She would watch me, and I would work on the farm, and she said, "He who laughs lasts." And I thought, what the hell? I don't know what that means. She was always smiling, always had a joke. He who laughs lasts. And you know what? At the end of the day, none of this other crap really matters. It's about being as happy as you can be, because life is just, it's so screwed up now, especially when we talk about sports. We highlight all these negative things, and at the end of the, you just got to be. I don't say I have a lot of gifts, but I will say one thing I do have is I don't take myself too seriously. I take what I do seriously, but I don't take myself too seriously. You never hear pretentiousness and Rick Watson in the same sentence, right? You have to be able to laugh at yourself so you can laugh at the world. And I'll sit around during the day and I just end up getting cracked up at something stupid I've done or thought or said. just because how ridiculous is that? You're just an idiot talking to myself. And you just laugh. And sometimes that's the only way to handle something, because the world's going to come after you, man. You know that. People want to see you fail. A lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people, they get off on watching other people have issues. They get off. That's why gossip was created, right? They enjoy, their life is made if somebody else is having a problem or somebody else fails at this, or, boy, did you hear about what happened to that family? And that's just not how I choose to live my life. I want everybody to be successful and have fun and to be happy. And I know it sounds impossible and silly, and people might think it's contrite, but as you get older, you realize that all the time you spent worrying and being concerned about things, it didn't help, didn't change too much, right? Life finds a way. Any problem you have or I have, Morris says, 50 years won't take care of. That's right. That's right. You can't see him, but just something simple, like looking over and seeing Balboa Creed. That makes me happy. My guy walked out of a paper bag as somebody had tossed him and his siblings on the side of the road. And now here he is. That's a staple of my life, right? He's a slob. He just yawned real big and rolled over. But regardless of that, he's very special. Lou Holtz, never tell anyone your problems because 80% don't care. The other 20% are glad you have them. I think that percentage is a little higher. I agree with Coach Holtz, but I think the percentage is probably more 60-40. I think 40% are glad you got them. That's all you see in the media today. That's why all these people that's what they get off on, man. Please, I don't know if I can do that. I got you, Jen. Let's see if I can. I don't know if I can do that. Let me see. Messenger. Okay, I think I can do that. I'm trying something. Oh, it says page is not available. It's not letting me do that, Jen. Jen says her email is updating. Jen, I just looked at that. Let me see here. How about your phone, Jen? Can you do it via phone? Is it your email on your phone or your computer? You could do that, and then I could send it to you again, or you could just log in on the one on your computer. It won't let me send it to your messenger. I don't know why, but it's telling me I cannot do that. Oh, now she says she got it. She got it. Jen's got it. She's about to be on with us. It's been a great week back, by the way. Thanks to everybody again for all the well wishes, and we had some great shows this week. This is the third straight day we've had 4 awesome guests on. And last night was a huge success. Thanks to everybody who stopped by for Big Dog Pop. It was a really positive debut. We had some great commentary from our peeps. And like I told you, it's your show, man. You sign up, you come on, and we put you on. And it was great. Chris and Coach and Dwight, Morris, Coach Mabry. It was just, man, it was fun. It's got to evolve, and there's some things, that can evolve into, but it was a good start last night. And I think that's something that's going to grow. But it was fun. It was fun. And if nothing else, I want people to come to us, come to the show, come to the channel, to be entertained, to have knowledge, to have all these things. But at the same time, just at the end of the day, you feel better. I hope people, when they watch the show and they go throughout their day, are feeling like I do when I see Mike Ashley. You just kind of, my day is that was a pretty good way to start the day, right? And I get a lot of messages about that, by the way. And to our sponsors and any future sponsors, trust me, people are watching and they're making notes. People telling you they put you on the TV in the background there. That's kind of cool to think about us being on somebody's big TV, you know. But that's easy. That's what I do with my YouTube. Thanks, Stephen. Congratulations to you both. Deb and I were in Alaska. We tied the knot. A must add to the bucket list. Yeah, I've been to Alaska one time with Radford Bass. Matter of fact, it was my first road trip. Anchorage, Alaska. When I took over for Dave Hunsiker, our first games were, let's go to Alaska. Okay. Yep. Beautiful. Beautiful. That was a long time ago. It's 25 years ago. 25 years ago. Now joining us on the program because, you know, if you're going to have beauty, you have to wait for it. It's Jen, the Gamecock Girl.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make you wait. I turned on my computer and then it started the update running. And
I hate that. I hate that. Mine does that. And you're like, I thought that was a manual thing. Why do I have to? Why are you just doing it now? Well, what is that? Did I ignore it so long? You just decide, well, he's never going to do it. So hit the button. Go. Let's just go.
Sorry. And I'm overdue on several things. Number one.
Yeah.
You are someone's husband now. So congrats for that.
Wow. Is that true?
The pictures of you and Janet were absolutely beautiful. It was good to see you so happy. I haven't seen you that happy in a long time.
Well, they're beautiful. They're beautiful for half the relationship. The half the picture. The other picture, not so much. But
both of you look so happy and excited. It's a new chapter for you, and you're diving in, and I love it. So,
diving in head first. That's right.
I dig it. That's really, really fun to see you back in love, clocking in full time. Proud of you.
Clocking in full time.
And then the other thing is Happy Father's Day, because you're one of my favorite daddies.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's cool. It's a weekend that you never have any expectation, but at the end of the day, even if you're by yourself, you know, if you're Mother's Day, Father's Day, you just sit there and you go, you know, I did the best I could. I can live with how I went about it. Right. I tried. I honestly did the best I could. So I can live with that. But yeah, it was funny too, because on the honeymoon we were talking, Jen and I were talking, and she was like, so now when can we go see Jen? I want to see her place. I was like, oh,
okay,
well,
that'd be great. I'd love to have y'all. And I know she's an LSU fan.
She is.
So that could be fun.
Oh, if there's ever like an LSU if there's ever an LSU.
Don't we play? We play them. I'm trying to remember if it's at home or away coming up. I don't know. I've got to check the schedule.
You play them this year?
You know what? I'm blanking out. I'm completely immersed in drum corps right now because we have our debut performance this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Talk about that. You've been posting a lot about that. What's going on with that? Yeah, you love drum corps now.
I do love drum corps. And I've got my Carolina Crown, my fan gear on. I'm going to Gardner Webb after we talk.
Running Bulldogs.
And that's where we have our camp. So we've been in camp for several weeks, and then we do a performance at the end of camp, and then we go out on the road and tour the country and compete with other drum corps. And we won the world championship in 2013, and we traditionally finish, in the definitely top 10, but we finished top 5 or 6 for several years. So it's an exciting, fun time of year. And our students are really excited. They can march with us until they turn 21, and everyone ages out of the activity when they turn 21. So it's a lot of good young energy in it. And I'm on the board of directors, which is work more on the administrative side versus the artistic side. But it's just something that brings me a lot of joy and pride. So I'm completely immersed in that for a little bit. And believe it or not, take a little breather from my football obsession. Don't keep quite on top of it with drum corps because all my energy is diverted to drum corps.
No, there's nothing really happening now anyway. It's a good time to have drum corps, right? Things are kind of all over the country. Just kind of man. Will, by the way, says USC and LSU do not play each other this year.
But they're going to. Thank you, Will. I think what I'm clouding in my brain, I think we're supposed to next year, maybe. Is Will checking? Ask him to check that.
Will's our schedule check. Will, can you look up the 27 schedule for the Gamecocks and Tigers?
Will, can you also please come over and maybe like vacuum my hardwoods and wash some clothes for me? Do a few other things.
He'll go, yes, Jen. Whatever you say, Jen.
That'd be great.
As we all do. Of
course, he's got his big fancy house now, so I guess he's busy with that.
That's true. How close are you to Boiling Spring? You're pretty close, aren't you? I mean, that's not
2 hours ish.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a nice little change. Like it's so different from here. Like it's just the more mountainy climate and more rural. It kind of reminds me of like old school Reiner before Reiner turned into what it is now.
Will says, vacuum your hardwood. Is that a euphemism? Yes. Yes, it is.
Well, I don't know. Come down and visit. What's up?
Yeah, we'll find out. That's good stuff. That's funny. That's pretty funny. I had a question to ask you, and I've completely lost my place now. And I don't know what I'm going to do now. What were we talking about? Boiling Springs.
Web and what it's like there.
Drum corps. I completely lost it. Whatever I was going to ask.
One of my favorite things is when I arrive and open my car door, like immediately you hear the sound of the drum line warming up or performing. I love that sound. That's one of my favorite sounds in the whole world is drum line warm up.
High school football, for me, when I remember vividly, whether you were playing or calling a game, when you start to hear the drum, when you hear the band, and it gets into your chest, and the game's about to start, or say it kind of makes the whole college football too. It makes the whole environment better, doesn't it? It just kind of it brings it all together.
It is. It's the excitement, and it's kind of primal, right? Like
it is primal.
Going into battle, and I love it so much. And the drum corps, if you've never watched it, if you Google world-class drum corps, Google Carolina Crown, it's totally different from anything else that you've ever seen. They always have a show in Salem every year, late in July, and it's wonderful to go and check it out if you've never seen it before.
LSU visits South Carolina in 2027.
Okay,
there you go.
That's what I'm thinking then. All right, so I'm not totally delusional, just a little bit.
No, you were right. You were on it. You were all over. So there you go. We're going to start planning now for 2027.
You can bring Mrs. Watson with you.
Who? Oh, Janet. Yeah.
I like saying Mrs. Watson. That sounds like so. Like it sounds like like a sweet little grandmother knitting.
Mrs. Watson.
Knitting on the porch, making little holiday treats.
She said somebody called her that the other day. Just like she didn't respond because she's like, "Oh, that's me now. Oh,
yeah.
You mean me." By the way, I know I was going to tell you. Have you been? You travel everywhere. Yeah, Will's coming. Yeah, Will. Yeah, of course, Will. You're in the car with us.
Can he just invite himself to come to the LSU?
Yeah, he doesn't have to.
Will,
yeah. Will and I, have you been to Emerald Isle? Have I asked you this? Emerald Island? Have you been there? I'm telling you.
I have not. I thought when I saw your pictures, I wasn't sure if you were in Myrtle Beach or where you were.
No.
So
Emerald Isle, it was spectacular.
Okay.
Spectacular. And I don't like to recommend things a lot, because you do something that's however expensive, but that place, I guarantee, if you decide if you're a beach person, you want to get away from what Myrtle Beach has become, which is a disaster. Go to it's a South face. It's resorts. It's got all sorts of diverse groups of people, age groups. It's not like it's just old people. It's not just young people. It's got our generation, younger. It was really cool. Clean.
Thank you for not lumping us into old peeps.
No, I'm not going to do that. But it was spectacular, and you could get your chair and your umbrella as part of your package to the resort. There's no hotels around on the beach, so you can you go out on your deck. Oh, look, there's the ocean. There's nothing blocking my view. Imagine that. Doesn't matter where you are.
Nice. Yeah. Kiowa is like that. It's so expensive to go down to Kiowa, but it's very close for us. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I think Coach Beamer now owns, Coach Shane Beamer now owns the Kiowa house and goes down there. That's kind of our version of what you're describing.
Yeah. No. Very, very nice. Very, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's hope he doesn't have to sell that after the season. But anyway.
I just want a good season, period. I want joy and happiness in my football.
I know what I was going to talk to you about too. Did I see this? Is that right? Did the over and under come from USC, from the SEC?
Yes, but it did, because when I was in Vegas, we were at 6.5 when I was in Vegas.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Georgia and Texas are at 9.5.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama, LSU, and A&M at 8.5. Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Florida 7.5. And then here you go, Missouri, Auburn, South Carolina at 6.5. Do you agree with 6.5 wins? So 7-5. Is that what they're saying? I guess 6.5. Yeah, it'd be 7-5 because 6.5 is stupid because you can't win 6.5 games.
Right.
You got to kind of.
I'm going to be honest. I did not bet on the 6.5 because I couldn't decide. And
you made a bet though. What was your bet? You made a bet.
Not that. What did I bet? Oh, I went Heisman for.
That's right.
For yeah, because I just I think there's a possibility if he plays like he did 2 years ago. And I thought that would be kind of a fun, and a good payoff bet.
It is fun. It is fun.
If I put the over on South Carolina with the odds, it wasn't that much of a win. Like if I'd put 50 down, I think I was going to win like 70 or something because the odds weren't that great. The money in it was betting the under, and I don't want to bet the under for obvious reasons. That's bad juju.
Sure. Yeah. It's like you get punished by the fan gods if you're like, oh, look, she didn't have any faith in her team, so they're going to lose a couple games they shouldn't lose. Yeah.
I don't want to do that. So that's why I didn't bet the under. I thought about betting the Missouri. What was it again? Were they 6.5 also?
Yeah, Missouri, Auburn, South Carolina, all at 6.5. Vandy falls all the way to 5.5 because they lost so much. Wow.
Gosh, the world is different when we're talking about Vandy getting screwed when they're at 5.5.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see anything like with those particular in the SEC, the over-unders. I didn't see anything to me that was a glaring, oh gosh, I need to bet that.
Bradley says, will you ask Jen here on the professional door text line, Jen, are you going to do your coaches rankings, dating rankings again?
Sure. We got some new talent. So I have to look up some of the new guys and see what's going on. But I think that is an appropriate August activity.
So, yes, that will happen. That will happen. So, what is this, year 5 for Shane? Is that right?
You always ask me that, and I have to think. It's 6 because he came in 2020. Is that right?
Is that right? 6. So okay, so he's been there 5. So let me ask you this now: 6 years. If it's a 6-6, 7-5 season, does that keep him around?
In today's climate, this is really tricky now. Like in the old climate, I would have said he was gone, but now I don't know. Like who knows? It's just, that may truly be the best we can be in this particular climate with the budget that we have. I don't really know. Like it creates another layer of questionability when it comes to thinking who's really culpable when problems happen. Because then sometimes now coaches are like, well, I didn't have enough money. Couldn't do anything.
No, you can't say that in the SEC. SEC teams can't say that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know that our budget here in South Carolina is going to be able to hang with Texas and company. So
Tech's going to spend about $40 million on its roster at least. So South Carolina is going to be above that, way above that.
One would think. I don't know. The whole thing is just, it's different enough that I think the solution won't always be presented as we have to change the coach. I think that other solutions get presented now too. Like let's take our men's basketball situation, where the coach, the buyout, we're not paying the big buyout. He's staying. Then they gave him a much bigger budget for recruiting talent. So he got new life in a system where he could get new life. But 10 years ago, same situation, he would have been fired. He would have not been back.
Yeah. Well, that's not going to work out for your basketball team.
Well, gosh, the men's team here.
I know. So this AD did not hire him, right?
Wait, I'm sorry. What did you say?
Your AD did not hire Shane.
Oh,
correct?
true. Yes.
There's a lot of speculation. There's been some kind of head battling. So I don't think he's back if it's a mediocre season. I think this has to, especially after he's gone on record saying we will be in the playoff. Remember that?
Yes, I do. I think that the AD is a very ambitious AD, and he's not playing around, and he's getting so much pressure to. The men's teams were terrible this year. The big three, for us, baseball, men's basketball, football. Football wasn't terrible. It was, we'll say, underachieving. Men's basketball was terrible. Baseball was terrible. Yeah. So, I think he has a lot of professional pride, and he's really a driven kind of person. He's an attorney by trade. So, yeah, he's not going to mess around much. He did really well with the baseball hire. I felt like we did as good as we could have with getting Kevin Schnall here.
Now I think so. I mean, I think it was a no-brainer. It seemed like that was going to happen midway through the season. I remember it popping up, and I know AG, our coach at Radford, told me, he said that's probably going to happen. That was months ago, right? Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. A lot of SEC baseball teams make money. Do you have any? No, I don't know. Does your program make any? Maybe they haven't since they've been down recently. But do they come anywhere close to breaking even?
I don't know the answer to that. I would guess for sure, based on the attendance was miserable for the men's team this year. So I can't imagine that they made anything. I mean, it was the worst I've ever seen it in my time living here, part two, as an employee at USC, and just the support has been dwindling. So I can't imagine they made anything. But during the heyday, we probably did pretty well.
Feels like you won the national title. I mean, you won two, didn't you? Did you win two?
Yeah, was it? I'm trying to remember the years. 2010 and 11, maybe.
It sounds right.
But the glory days, the attendance was great. Those were tough tickets to get. And my sax quartet, we play the anthem sometimes.
I know.
And so the game we played this year, when we played the anthem, it was a ghost town in there. It made me sad. It's maybe 300 people.
Ooh, really?
Maybe.
It
was depressing, candidly. It made me really sad for what's happened.
I get that. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. I mean, it's baseball. He'll recruit well there. The budget, they want him to be good. They need him to be good. Traditionally, it's been good. So we'll see what happens. But I think the whole onus of your whole thing is going to be on Shane and that team this year. I mean, maybe it's good they're flying under the radar. There was so much hype last year. My Lord.
It's too bad. We never do well with that.
And then Tech's sitting there. I'm going into the fourth quarter, and they're like, is Tech better than South Carolina? I mean,
it's terrible. It's so funny. Again, our fans are delusional. Like, they were like, well, Virginia Tech's really good this year. I was like, I think it was because we were really, we were not good, and Tech wasn't good. Like, that was not good football to watch. So I don't know. Like, that once I saw that game, the opener, I was feeling like, oh, it's going to be a long season. I better get more bourbon ready because it hurts. I can't handle that. I just have to detach a little bit when it's like that because I'm just so invested. It's physically painful.
You know what I base it on, too, is something Coach Elmo's talked about. I know how much you like and respect Coach Elmo. When he says coaches are being brought in to fire coaches, they're in trouble. Well, how many guys did Shane have to get rid of? was it at least three major coaches from that staff as the season went on. And then afterwards, I mean, those are decisions he doesn't want to make, but he's not given much choice. So it tells me that he's at the end of the line if he doesn't produce this year. We'll see.
Yes, and we know how much the Beamer men feel that loyalty and hate doing that, absolutely hate. So I'm sure that was a painful thing for Shane to have to do.
Sure, absolutely.
And I know that he does not want to be in the position to do more of that ever again. So, I mean, his loyalty is such a distinctive quality of him, which can be really good, but it's been very frustrating for those of us when there needs to be staff changes.
Did Coach Frank Beamer, I hate calling him Frank, Coach Beamer. When I say Coach Beamer, I'm always going to mean Frank, by the way.
Yeah, I think that's what we do here. We Coach Beamer's daddy. And
Coach Beamer. Yeah, Shane. Coach Beamer, did he move down there, right? He's down there. Is that right?
I don't know if they officially moved here, but I believe they have a house.
He's going to probably spend, I'd say, football season down there. And I'm wondering if he's like understanding what his son's facing, because he almost had to pay the piper ultimately in Blacksburg with that meeting with Dave Brain. So he might be down there to kind of nurture him along this year. I'm wondering if that's part of the plan. I'm sure it has to be.
I worry about Coach Beamer. He had that featured lecture here. He was honored at our university, which was really fun for me and fun for others who are from that area. I saw a lot of people from home there, but he does look pretty frail now. How old is he? I'm losing track. Is he 80?
I would say so. I can look that up. I would say so.
I worry about him, and I hope he's going to be okay, but
he'll be 80 this year. Yeah, he's 79.
Yeah. I mean, he's having a little trouble getting around, and he's the skinniest I think I've ever seen him. So, I think it would be good for him climate-wise to be down here, because it's just the climate. It's a little better for older folks, I think, than
100%. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah, just stay down there. I would. I would just stay down there.
But yeah, I don't know. I imagine, yes, he is on the support team and trying to help get through this year. It's a really important year. Now, the buzz I've heard from camps sounds definitely more promising than last year, but the buzz is always good. Like I said, no one ever comes out of camp and is like, whoa, we're terrible. Nobody's going to say
that. You know who did say that, which really impressed me, was when I hung out with James Franklin.
Oh, that's right. You told me he was candid about some of the weaknesses.
Yeah, he looked at everybody and said, this isn't what it's supposed to look like, folks.
Well,
I mean, I love that. I think that's very promising. I like that. I like it when a coach is not just telling you stuff that he knows people want to hear. He's like, no, we got play. We like what we got, but we're not a football team. They don't know what the hell they're doing, So I was like, all right. That's cool.
Spurrier, he was like that too, right? He would come out and be like, oh, our wide receivers are so bad. And
they can't catch anything. Yeah.
That is a different kind of coach. I don't think most of today's coaches are not saying that.
Oh, they got to, because they're so worried about everything else. They got to play up. They got to play it up, man.
But I do think our O-line, from inside sources, the O-line seems much improved now. Does that mean they're going to be the best O-line in the SEC? No, but maybe we won't be the last. So that'd be pretty great.
It was pretty bad last year.
From my standpoint. The last few years have been really, I'm going to say wretched. Like, gotta address that.
And I do give Lenoris a hard time, but let's face it, if I were playing, any quarterback was playing behind your line the last couple of years, they were going to struggle at times. So.
Yeah. I mean, I thought he handled it with class and not calling them out, because I think a lot of college quarterbacks would have been quick to point the direction problems towards the O-line. But
yeah, right.
He is a very, kind of quiet, reserved guy. He's not going to be strutting around a whole lot, and very different personality from Spencer Rattler when he was there. But I feel optimistic things will be better.
We're looking at the week of July 18th for the bash, the BDST bash, if you want to start looking at your calendar.
Like the weekend or week?
Huh?
The weekend or the
weekend? Yeah, it'll be like a Saturday. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that could be fun.
Hey, Dwight. Dwight says, but when Dwight Vick is honest, I'm being very exactly, Dwight. We talked about that last night. You missed Big Dog Pop last night. Dwight, you were great. So when Dwight's honest. Huh?
Is Dwight in the chat? Tell him I said hi. What's up, Dwight?
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he showed up last night at Big Dog Pop. I mean, you didn't, but he did.
I wasn't invited. I didn't know anything about it.
What do you
Thanks
mean?
for the invite.
It was all over our socials.
I saw nothing.
But yeah, Dwight is the biggest tech proponent of anybody I know, right? But he's a real fan because he's like, look, nobody wants better for Virginia Tech than me, so he's going to criticize when it doesn't look good, and that's the way you should be as a fan. I hate all this where if you're not just drinking the Kool-Aid, you're not a fan. Oh, what do you mean you're criticizing? I get that all the time, man. That's the way I'm about my teams. I criticize the Broncos more than I praise them.
Well, yeah.
I don't like what I see a lot, so I'm going to tell you about it. You know, you're not just sitting there going, "Oh, this is great. Everything they do is wonderful. We're perfect." It's just no. So yeah, Dwight keeps people grounded, keeps Tech fan grounded, as he should, because he's the one that helped build the blocks to where the program rose.
Dwight, do you need a number 2 team? Because I vote for you, including South Carolina.
He's close to Shane, so he's already he's already pulling for South Carolina. They're
Dwight, come down and come to the Gamecock condo. Have a drink with me.
Oh, it'd be great. Yeah. Well, you know what? We're gonna plan on the LSU game in 27. It'd be me and Janet.
That woman you're married to.
Yeah, the wife.
Okay.
And Dwight and his family. We'll just all have a caravan and come down and hang out with you in the condo.
Is Will going to come also? Do I get Will?
Oh, yeah, I mentioned Will. Will's a given. Will's already in the back seat of the truck. He's there. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure. I've got to figure out who all is invited to this.
And we'll watch LSU play South Carolina. We'll try to hook up. Maybe Shane will still be there, right? I mean, seriously, if he's still there, if they have a decent season, and it'll be great. Yeah.
I want Shane to still be here, so I'm going to.
That means you're doing well. That means you had a good year. If he's still there,
I'm going to put it into the world like Oprah says. If you say it enough, Oprah's all into those intentions turning into reality. I'm going to Oprah-tize my thoughts.
Oh, that's true. Will says, and Elmo, he lives close to you anyway.
Oh yeah, he's in South Cac, which I did not even know until
I didn't either. So he'll be there. And by the way, his wife's named Janet too.
Oh, that's fun.
How about that? So yeah, we got you're gonna have a house full of people. So watch out.
Okay, I'm ready.
You are a wonderful hostess. So
thank you. That's sweet. I do really, really enjoy that about living here.
I know you do. I know you do.
And hosting the parties.
No, you're good at it. You're good at it.
The only thing I don't love about it is it's a lot of wear and tear on my condo. Look, I was looking around. I was like, oh gosh, I'm gonna need to paint. I don't want to paint. If anyone wants to sponsor, do you have a paint sponsor? Painter?
No, I'd like to have one. Yeah, anybody wants to sponsor the program, we'll get you a job immediately down in Columbia.
Please, gosh, I cannot do it. Period. I need help.
I'm terrible.
It is too much work for me. I just cannot.
Terrible painting. Yeah, I'm with you. Terrible. Just terrible.
Mm-hmm. Plus, I could be willing to move all that Gamecock stuff around.
I know. You got to take everything off the wall.
There's a lot of stuff. I've got to be careful. I don't want it to turn into Cracker Barrel, Gamecock Cracker Barrel. So I'm trying to, what is the big marketing? Curate. I'm going to need to curate my collection. Everything's curated now in marketing land.
Yeah.
Hand curated. Personally curated, so I'm just trying to watch out, make sure I don't get too much stuff in here.
No, I understand. Well, it's great to see you, and we'll see. Have fun. I know you will with the drum line. With the drum corps. You're gonna have a great time.
Okay. Oh, you corrected yourself. Look at that. You're growing, baby, because you knew what to call it.
I knew what to call. I didn't want to be wrong. I didn't want to be
when
wrong.
we talked about this before, previous times, you just were like the drum line, whatever. I don't know what it is, and you just fixed it voluntarily without me saying anything.
See what happens. See what happens when you get married. You start growing
Thanks,
up a little
Janet.
bit.
Thank you for what you've done. I applaud you.
My marriage benefits you in so many ways. You just don't
I
even
get
know.
the work husband benefit.
Exactly.
She's doing all the obedience work. I get clean up. It's great.
Morris is going to get Love Cox hats printed for everybody, by the way.
Everybody should love the Cox. Perfect. Is Morris going to wear one?
The women can wear those.
Anyone can wear them.
No, that's true. That's true.
Anybody. Gamecock love is open to all.
I don't think you're going to have, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say you're not going to have myself, Dwight, and Will sitting around in a hat that may say, Love Cox. I'm just saying that's probably not going to happen, even if it has the Cock logo on there.
What would it take to get y'all to wear those? I'm thinking about it.
Lots of your elixir from your cabinet, probably.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm up for the challenge.
Okay, all right.
See if I can get y'all to put those on.
See how things are moving. We're planning. We're a year out, but we're already planning. Yeah. All right. Well, be a good girl. Have fun this weekend. I want to hear all about it. I know you'll be posting, so that'll be great. Good luck.
I will. My propaganda will be out in the world. So everybody look at social media. Carolina Crown. Shh. We're gonna have a great year. I'm really excited.
If you have time, go into the Paul Porter Arena, their basketball arena, and you can see 2 jerseys hanging in there that you would not think, but you probably know. Artist Gilmore, who started at Gardner Webb, his jersey hangs in that gymnasium, as is John Drew, the former great NBA player. So they've got 2 NBA legacies that went to Gardner Webb.
I did not know that. I have never been in that particular building. I've seen it.
It's older, but it's really cool, and they've got really nice facilities there. I like that. I like that gym.
It's a beautiful campus. It's gorgeous.
It is. It really is.
The stadium, when we perform there, I mean, it's just beautiful. You can see all the countryside all around in the background. Really nice, very friendly people. Excited
They are very friendly people. All right. Well, have fun, dear.
Thank you, and happy Father's Day, and congrats, newlywed.
Thank you. I have a newlywed. I've never done this before. Oh, wait. Yeah, I did.
It's going to go better this time.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Second stop. Yeah, the second stop. Yeah. And the last stop. All right. Be good, and we'll have fun this weekend, and we'll talk again next week.
Okay. Love you.
Love you. Be good. There you go. Jen the Gamecock Girl joining us. Good stuff. Thanks, everybody. Great week back. Thank you. Thanks to Coach Elmo today. Thanks to Will, Mike Ashley. Still getting texts about Mike Ashley's Father's Day open mic. That was good. Mike's the best. And thanks to Jen. Thanks to everybody. Please subscribe, like, and share the channel. Thanks, everybody, again, who made the debut of Pop so good last night. Dwight, thank you. Good to have you in chat. And everybody enjoy the weekend. All right. We will see you on Monday. Go Heels. Pulling for the ACC and the College World Series, right? Why not? Go USA later today. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to make a point of checking it out against Australia. Mike's got me. I've got World Cup fever. Well, I want the USA to win. Take care, everybody. We'll see you on Monday.